my part. I'm doing 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 my part.
Hello and welcome to the MAYrathon. It is gonna May. The amount of memes I have seen of NSYNC has been insane. Kiwi man! Starting it off.
37, huh? Where does the time go? I didn't have a big speech prepared or anything, so I suppose I'll just say thanks, Clem. Your streams are great, this community is fantastic, keep it up, and happy MAYrathon to everyone. Chin chin.
Thank you so much, Kiwi Man. That is very sweet, very kind. I'm very appreciative.
I'm doing my part.
Thank you. I'm just feeling nice and bashful now. Just to start it off. Hi everyone, it's the MAYrathon. If you guys weren't here last year, basically the MAYrathon is a very, very simple concept. There are no sub-goals, no dono goals this year. The only goal is to go live every single day. Do a live stream every day of May. I have managed to get a little technicality in this, and on Saturdays we are going to be streaming, but through Discord instead of Twitch and or YouTube. So that is something that if you want to come join and watch some stuff together, then consider joining the Discord. Otherwise, I'll be here every day of May, and I hope to see you guys there on at least some of the days. You don't have to turn up every day of May. Basically, I have sorry, I got distracted by this question about kerosene. I don't know where this has come from. But nonetheless, I do not know where this came from, but no. I'm hoping that you don't actually feel like you have been affected too heavily by someone trying to get your first badge. What an interesting start. Nonetheless, let us continue. Yes, the clankers are finally working, which is good. The only difference now for the robot is that they are they need instructions, basically. So they work now. They just also don't have a lot of instructions. So if you guys have anything you need the bots to say or do, then let me know in the Discord as well. Thank you for the compliments. Hi, Everdark, by the way. I saw you popped in. Hi. The green guy, I don't know who you're talking about when it comes to the green guy. I don't see any green guys on your end. Oh, this guy! I see now. I understand. This is a little Bulbasaur, because Bulbasaur is number 1. Bulbasaur is the best Pokemon, because they are number 1. You cannot dispute that. I think that... Okay, let me put it this way, Blaze. If you're seriously asking this question, despite the fact that I have a zero tolerance for thinking, well, I guess I don't have a zero tolerance if I am entertaining this. If one were to kill a furry, is that considered hunting? First of all, just because you kill an animal doesn't mean that it is hunting every single time. There are unfortunately a lot of people who do a lot of horrific things towards animals, and you don't consider that hunting every time. So even if you are going to have this weird correlation of people who are furries and thinking about killing them, and the fact that you brought that to someone for the first time, it still wouldn't be hunting, because it's not even hunting every single time when it comes to animals. So there's your answer to your logic there. The clankers are like troubled youth. They just need structure in their life. This is also true. Yeah, my green wall buddy, that's the one. AI girl, it's me. AI again. For the 100th time. Is there a Bulbasaur-sized wall in the hole? So this is the size of a brick, and I have a Bulbasaur who is very small, so he's still growing, okay? Gengar is a very good Pokemon. I do not disagree with you, Brian. You are allowed to have the opinion of liking Gengar for sure. Have you started the MAYrathon? Yeah, look, okay, let me put it, let me let me restart. Because what a weird way to start this, MAYrathon. It's day 1, and now we're already thinking about, or having a hypothetical put in my mind about killing people. No, thank you. That is not how I want to start the MAYrathon. However, I only have myself to blame, because I didn't put any planning into today. Basically, the reason for that is because I don't want this MAYrathon to be an extra celebration or anything that is more than just the normality, I suppose. And what is the normality? Turning up, hanging out, listening to random questions from people, and entertaining them, I suppose. So if can we get a new word for kill? I feel very uncomfortable with the word kill. That is, it is just, I am happy to entertain your thought process somewhat, but I feel like you are already recognizing that it is a disgusting word to be, furries are people, and so to say, you know what, no, I'm not gonna entertain it. Now that I have thought it out loud, you're entertaining the idea of killing someone, and I don't want that. So mods, can we no, not even unalive. It's not about the wording. It's not even about the wording. It's about the fact that this person, like, assassinate it. Like I said, thinking it out loud, I already don't, like, I was saying the words and I was like, okay, are we going to entertain this? There is no need. It's the intention, exactly, not the word. There is no need to entertain this because it is already a disgusting concept. You might think that furries are odd or whatever it is. I know that there are people out there that are furries, but they're still people. And so I don't want to start off our MAYrathon considering the concept of murdering people, basically. It's not worth it. So I don't know even how I got baited into that, but we are going to move on. So yes, exactly. It's the intention. Whereas if they were like, hey, do you think that we should institutionalize furries? No, I don't think that. I think that there are a lot of people who get a bad rep, and I think that they're very creative people. I feel like they have a lot of talents to offer to the world, but nonetheless. Anyhow, I hope you enjoy your milk from your goat, David. That sounds really nice. So, let me restart. That local sports team, huh? That local sports team. Thank you, George. I think I am still, I don't know, figuring things out. Nonetheless, furries are people too. Yeah, the thing is, let me continue this. I don't know if they would find that offensive. I don't have people that I know of who are furries that I can ask questions. Yeah, at least half of them. I don't have that ability to ask anyone in my current life, but apparently where I live in Southampton, there's actually a very large furry population. So maybe it's just that I don't know that they're furries yet, and once I figure that out, I can ask the questions, Hello, hi. So the MAYrathon, right? Maybe we can put the furries into a sanctuary. They can play together. I think they'll like that. I'm sure. Yeah, and that's the other thing is there'll be people in the chat. There's still, there's still people. Okay, wait. There was something that I wanted to ask. You guys made me. You made me forget. Anyway, I'll just say hi to everyone. Hi, hello, hi. It's good to see all you guys. Yeah, I'm not invited yet. Very nice. Winky, what's going on? I don't know. I'm feeling like I'm paying more attention to what's happening, and it's making me more confused. Yeah, apparently there are furries in Southampton. I will admit that when I was here last year, I saw one in the wild. But apparently there was a convention on, so that's not that surprising. Bonnie Ginger. Okay, I don't think that I actually, you know what, we're going to change the allegations. Oh, I remember what I was going to say now. Okay. So it's only my
I'm
fault.
doing my
I
part.
did not plan, I did not plan anything today because I just wanted it to be a normal stream, but I suppose the conversation that has happened is already a normal stream. So the point is, how long is the marathon? Or MAYrathon rather? It's just for May. That's why it's called the MAYrathon. So I will stream every single day of May until day 31, unless I don't. I could fail. That is the goal, but I could still fail, don't get me wrong. And on Saturdays is when I will be streaming in the Discord channel. So if you'd like to join in, then join the Discord, you know. We're going to be watching Practical Magic tomorrow. I'm very excited. Our local sports team did a lot of stuff tonight. I think you should be a fan of Minnesotan sports teams. Oh, you might be starting a little bit of a conflict if you have them words. An unplanned stream is a normal stream with more steps. That's the one. My kink isn't your kink, and that's okay. Exactly. But why doesn't that apply to furries? Why do they get to be ostracized in the butt of the jokes? Okay. So let me put it this way, Elmac. I think that a lot of kinks are made the butt of the jokes. Consider foot fetish. Foot fetish is a commonly used meme and fetish that is shamed and ostracized and considered weird or creepy. And this is one that I think I think that people use very casually. And so I believe that there is something easy about making fun of this. The only thing is that I haven't figured out the wording on why that is. I think because it's easy to understand in a way, whereas, for example, a hot candle wax, I don't know, these more pain kinks, a knife play and whatnot. They're not really spoken about because I don't think a lot of people can immediately like pop their understanding in this. Whereas everyone well, I shouldn't say everyone, but a lot of people have feet. Most of us have feet, and so there's like a quick correlation there. And so I think similarly with furries, and you're right, C Mama, it's not always a king. I think with furries, one sees the outfit and the costume, doesn't understand it, but it's easier to understand in a way, and so it's made jokes. But we all know that it's not just furries. There are a bunch of people out there that get made the butt of the joke. We can start getting into discrimination if we really want to. And so this is just another extension of it. However, for me, your wording is exactly how I look at it. I don't understand furries. I don't. But that is also because I haven't spoken to anyone in the furry community. I haven't gone out of my way to look it up because it just doesn't affect me whatsoever. And therefore, I just am like, well, they're not, as long as they're not hurting anyone, who bloody cares, right? They clearly have a community that they're able to solidify within one another and find each other and embrace this enjoyment or this identity, and so that just doesn't affect me. So I really don't have strong opinions, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to sit here and also pretend that I understand it. But the same way, I guess, with hobbies, there are a lot of like I don't really like sports, but because sports are spoken about so much, I can understand why people are into it. That doesn't mean that I'm not that I'm into it. And so that is the short notes. I agree is basically what I'm boiling it down to. Is I completely agree. I think a lot of people have a instinct to other something different and to, like you say, ostracize and to make fun of something that is different and other than them. And these things can be done in a funny way, because I think that it is still human nature to recognize something that is different to them. But I think that, again, still agreeing with you, a lot of people tend to take that and turn it into something very nasty. And I experience that almost every single day when I choose to go live with, usually it is about gender, but it is something that I just choose to ignore because I know that those people are being nasty, rather than coming from a place of trying to be understanding or anything like this. Anywho, hello, firecracker, that's fun. I like that. The MAYrathon is, it's a very simple thing, Blade. Basically, the MAYrathon is just an excuse for me to do habit building. Last year, it was very, very amazing. The community banded together to help fundraise for a goal of mine, which was to travel overseas to the UK, and we freaking smashed it. And now, a year later, I'm literally living in the UK, and oh, I'm getting teary-eyed already just remembering that whole event. The MAYrathon last year basically was a huge and pivotal moment for me to help achieve my goals and set out to try something different and change the trajectory of my life, basically. So I think that one will always be, as you can hear in my voice or see in my face, that will always be a very emotional thing for me. This year, however, it's not meant to be emotional. This year was literally because I have been not streaming so consistently over the last 6 months since I moved, since I left Australia. And I wanted, now that I'm a lot more settled in, I wanted to create a challenge for myself. I'm a big fan of these kinds of challenges. Yeah, maybe it's celebratory of last year. That's a good way of looking at it as well. And so this year, I feel a lot more settled into my new place, even if it's still not decorated. That will come with time. And I wanted to do this for me. I spoke about it with the mods. There's a few people who had some misconceptions that I'd basically just not stop streaming. That's not it. That's not it at all. I just wanted to try and build some habits. And already in the last week leading up to this, I have noticed an increase in productivity, sorry, just for myself. I've also done a lot to try and look after myself more. And so setting aside time to have time off and not constantly just be thinking about the internet all the time. And so trying to fix my neck, which is a big issue, for example. I've got a little time to make sure that I am working on that. And on top of that, after May, it'll give me a lot of indication of what days I actually like streaming, what times I like streaming. And we're going to play some games again, because I feel like I haven't played games this whole time. And so I thought it would be a nice excuse to simultaneously be a little bit degenerate and play a whole bunch of video games. So I am excited. Fill the house with aquariums and plants. Well, I used to have fish and I used to have a lot of plants specifically, but I think in here I'm just not sure about the back. Just to my left, there's a fair bit of space. So I think I'll decorate that for myself and put some storage for all my equipment and and knickknacks. But behind me, there's not a lot of space. And so I'm a little bit hesitant of putting things, say, on the ground, because I don't want to kick them over, knock them over, so on and so forth. But it is exciting. Anyway, but yes, I'm excited to rip on Practical Magic tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun. Been tossing up recording one New Zealand cover for every day in May to help the nerves of maybe streaming. Ooh, that could be exciting. You don't have to share it with anyone. I think that's something that you can remind yourself. Do you sing? No. Well, I mean, I do like singing, but I don't sing on stream. DJing. In reality, Clem is just taking a bit of a break from coming up with clever stream names. Exactly. That's the one. I was taking off my mental load by being like, MAYrathon day 4. Now I can name them all. No OnlyFans over here. Okay, I just wanted to double check some things because I saw feet are the zeitgeist. Most people are normie as hell, so very few will ever think of pain or fursuits or anything as a king. Exactly, and so I think that when people do hear about these things, especially because they're somewhat vanilla, they think that is the super, super weird. But like C Mama said, in terms of the furries, there's not even necessarily a kink. Yeah, they just like to dress up. Most of us have feet. Are you excluding those who have paws? I missed that. Sorry, Ron. Sorry. My bad. And that's a good point as well, Schmick. There's a spectrum going on. Don't like sports, but do like trains. Got it. Yeah, I'm a train girl now. I'm a train. There we go. You heard it here, folks. You heard it here. Okay, so Sarian said, I think that furries are a bit different in that they sometimes bring their kink into public places. Yeah, see, this is one that I understand people who think it is inappropriate and others who don't care. I actually do see both sides of the argument. I think that a lot of that probably comes from the fact that maybe what C Mama said is a good point. I think that some people, the furries will be for a kink and sexual in nature. Others, it will have nothing to do with sex whatsoever. And so I think in that category, I can completely understand that someone in their fursuit being out in public because it's got nothing to do with no
I'm doing my part.
Connotation. But the people who do, then that can seem inappropriate. Where's the line? How do you now? Because for example, you wouldn't want someone to necessarily be, I don't know, touching your feet in public.
I'm doing my part.
And so that would be inappropriate. So you're not bringing your kinks out into the open. I can see the arguments that people made, but what I do not agree with is how heated, emotional, and angry some people get about it. It's just, I don't think that helps the conversation whatsoever. Maybe we can watch an interesting movie or listen to music. Well, first of all, I think that I would get banned on YouTube if I do that, so probably not. But if you do want to do that, that's what the Discord is for. Okay, so now I feel like I can move on from the furry conversation. I knew that there were a few comments and it was going to bother me if I didn't wrap that up. Okay, repost. Oh, last one. Furry convention. Last time I went to one of those, I left with my tail between my legs. That is very cute. Yeah, we're doing this again, Luke. Good to see you. 2 lies and a truth. I can never think of things on the spot. I'm not someone who's good at lying, so it's really difficult. It would be a good Pothos. You know what, Corey boy? It would be a good Pothos wall. A lot of people are saying that I need to get the plants going on the back. No worse than any other cosplay at a convention. Exactly right. So I feel like a lot of people would even cosplay as animal-esque. I mean, look at all of the bloody Pokemon cosplays that go on at conventions, you know? Nothing to do with sex, yeah, boring. Hi, Grady. If you see me in public, says Clem approves, feel free to touch my feet, as long as it's consensual. There we go. He was a Tism boy, said nothing and didn't make eye contact boy. Life wasn't binary for her. For the train, yeah, she was a train. She was a train. He had autism. Wait, he's autistic. There's a syllable, too many syllables there. Can I make it any more obvious? Himalatha Yogi. Hello. Hi. You don't have to spam. If you do spam this, then you will you will get timed out. We don't like the spamming, okay? Everyone just take your time. 2 truths and a lie is easier on the fly. Okay, 2 truths and a lie. Yeah, all right. How about that, Cassidy? Yeah, don't ask me no questions. I won't tell you no lies. Exactly. Oh, sorry, Everdark, we don't have the links. You can break it up somehow if or let us know what it was that you want to say. Thank you, mods. Do you know what? Okay, I have to address this. The amount of people who are spamming for my attention, it used to be in Twitch, but we've managed to get on top of the Twitch moderation, and so you guys are pretty chill on Twitch. But it's recurring over on YouTube again. The thing that I find ridiculous is when people spam for my attention, I give them their attention, and then they continue to spam like I didn't say anything. And I'm like, bro, how can I validate you and get your little 2 seconds of dopamine if you don't even listen? So this person's spamming to say their name, and then I guess I didn't say the numbers in their name, and so maybe they got mad that I didn't say the numbers in their name. That's on me. You know what? That is on me. Raging against anyone's personal preference is clearly an indication of that person's conditioning, or sometimes their refusal to admit it themselves. And that's the thing, is you can still be I am recognizing that a lot of my, let's say, conditioning does get me a little bit hot under the collar when certain topics come up. Am I going to tell you those topics? No, of course not. I don't want you guys to know what triggers me. And you guys already know too much about what triggers me. So there are certain things that when people talk about, and I'm like, and they're actually pretty normal conversations as well. But just, our own personal I say again, spamming. No, we don't have souls. You already know. You already know the answer. If you're asking the question, you already know the answer. That's a different kind of no, God, no. I'm not confirming or denying. I'm not even reading the message out loud. Anyway, nice ceiling we got here. Anyhow, so that's a different type of trigger. That's a bait. Whereas there are some things that actually do make me feel quite emotional, and over time, you can get irritated by repetition, and you can get irritated over trivial things. But in general, afterwards, it's like, that's a bit silly. I probably shouldn't have gotten irritated at that. But there are certain topics that do make me very uncomfortable, I think would be the word to use. So, for example, there would be, if we were to I guess I have spoken about this very openly. Guns make me very uncomfortable. I'm very against guns. I know that others and people in our community do like their guns, whether that carrying's in America or whether that hunting. Not for me. And so I do sometimes feel myself getting very and this is not the only topic, it's just the one that I know is a very easy one to talk about, because it's a shared discomfort, I suppose, and one that especially our Americans can relate to very easily. And so it is something that I can feel I get very not passionate, not irate, but I can feel that emotion affecting me, and sometimes it can therefore affect your listening and affect your ability to, let's say, have a debate or conversation or listen to someone else's perspective, etc., etc. And there are definitely some other topics which will stay with me. Oh, this is my 2 truths and a lie. This makes me uncomfortable. This makes me uncomfortable. This makes me uncomfortable. Which one's the truth? And which one's the lie? Anyway, so my point is that I know that emotions can get in the way of logic, and we can't. But then, in the reverse, you can't be logical all the time. So my point was clearly I haven't woken up enough to say this very succinctly. I just think that if people are getting fired up or angry or trying to, say, comment on videos or make fun of people and encounter something and then completely go, ugh, like that shows an emotion instead of going, what is this? Like, rather than a curiosity. You can then disagree with it afterwards, of course, but coming from a less emotional state and a less reactionary, that's the word. That is, after all of that time, I finally found the word. I feel like a lot of people are very reactionary. Humans are very reactionary. We're very good at reactions. Look at how people quickly respond to, say, the global pandemic, or a lot of our safety mechanisms, unfortunately, come in place after an event or a tragedy has occurred. We're very good at being reactionary, but I think that I'm trying to be better at recognizing when I'm feeling reactionary and just either moving along from the conversation or reflecting on it later, or even trying to be more communicative in those moments. The other problem is that when putting myself on the internet ready for the bait and people trying to be getting a reaction, it does become an extra hurdle to try and overcome. I'll tell you that much. Dolls, I do see your comments, I just ignore them. Raging against, yeah, and so that is what I mean of like that raging against someone else's personal preference. I recognize I have a lot of conditioning. I recognize a lot of other people have a lot of conditioning, and I'm just trying to work on it myself. Okay. Also, hi everyone. I saw a lot of people were coming in. I was just on rant mode. Say my name. Don't bait me into singing. I said I didn't do it on this channel. Yeah, say my name. I always hate it when they add the numbers in the name there because I had to put it then. Renarian9646. What do you mean? As someone who had an underscore in their username and still has it on other socials, I completely understand it. Do gingers have goals? No goals. They were beaten out of us as kids when we got bullied. We're not allowed to have goals anymore. That's our conditioning. Do gingers have hot cousins? We are the hot cousin. Get him. Normal conversations. We spent 45 minutes on Mewtwo's anatomy once. Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, no finger guns anymore. No finger guns, please. Portrait YouTube, sorry, yes, Corey boy, yes, my apologies. In the horizontal YouTube, you guys are very similar to the Twitch community that we've already built over there, so you're all right. Cats or dogs? I like dogs, but like if I had to choose an or, I like dogs, but I do like cats as well. It's not an this or that, but if you make me this or that, then I do lean towards dogs. Are you an atheist? No, I am not an atheist, but I would say I'm agnostic. I grew up Christian. I'm no longer practicing Christianity. I don't believe in a God, but I do have a little bit of spirituality, which comes more from... I think that, you know what, if we were living in an age that was more like the Greeks with their polytheistic views, I think I would have been all the way into that, because Maori, they have multiple gods, and they're more about respecting nature and that kind of vibe, and that I relate to a lot. I wouldn't. I'm definitely not religious, but I think there's a bit of spirituality that I hold, and I don't know. I don't know how to phrase what that means because it's just a practice that I have, I guess, or a feeling. Yeah, the Bundak Saints is full of guns. The thing is, for movies, it's fine. You're right. Why you're not raising children right now? I would need someone to have children with. So, Isaiah, I guess my question to you is, should I just have a child even if I don't have a long-term partner? Is that what you're implying? Or are you implying that the fact I don't have a long-term partner is a red flag in itself, and therefore you tell me, I guess, you tell me what to do in my situation. Oh, they were banned. Never mind. After all of that, I was so ready for them to tell me what I should do. Hi, Rick. Good to see you. Yeah, the balance of logic and emotion, exactly. You can be logical all the time. All it requires is logic. Damn, you're so right about that, Puma Fits. I can't believe I didn't think about it like that. Now I feel emotional because I didn't think about that. God damn it. I'm so stupid, so stupid, so stupid. Hi, Serial. How you going? Reactionary was a good word, exactly. Fight or fight, flight, freeze, etc., etc. I think you don't believe the things you're saying, just saying to make yourself seem important. Very modern female. What makes you... I'm not sure. Now I have to double check if they get banned or not from these things. Okay. Let me throw it back at you, Rebel Man. What are your thought processes on emotion and logic in that case? Let me know if you're still around. I think, first of all, no, well, I'll just wait for them. I'll wait for them because there's no point in me, again, going on another. See, this is what I'm getting better at. I've only been on YouTube for a few weeks, but I'm getting better at recognizing that they don't stick around. So I shouldn't entertain it if they're not going to give me what I'm looking for. I don't smoke, no. And I don't smoke anything, if that's a follow-up question. So tobacco, cannabis, anything else, I don't smoke anything. Being a reactionist is the antithesis of logic, exactly right. How can you ignore Puppy when he's finally been free to turn up? Yeah, I know, right? That's exactly why I ignore him. I'm like, getting petty. Very modern female of me. I'm doing well, Paul. I hope you're well as well. Society does condition us too. The only way to combat it is to experience other environments we are not familiar with. I like this. The longest relationship I've ever been in only ended not too long ago. So that was about a year and a half ago. And we were together for 5 years. I'm not Australian. I'm a New Zealander, but I lived in Australia for a while, Micah. Have you ever been cheated on? If I have, I didn't know about it, and I'd rather not know about it. So the people that I have dated, I had 2 long-term relationships as an adult and a high school relationship, and all 3 of these people, I would be very surprised if they had cheated, and not because of how I look at myself or anything like this. Just the kind of people they were. I think it would be very surprising. So. Like I said, I don't think I've been cheated on, but if I did, I don't know about it, and this
I'm doing my part.
is one of those things where I would be happy to never know about it if that were true. I don't think it will add anything to me. We not Maori, they. Thank you, see, Mama. Thank you. I do need to get better at this. There's nothing stopping you from accepting the old gods. Well, that's the thing, is I don't believe in the old gods. I just have a closer feeling about this. So that's why I don't call myself atheist. What do you think would taste better? I think that it would be probably some of the dogs, because cats are just bones, basically. I think dogs at least have some muscle on them and flesh, you know? What is the youngest age you would date? Why is that a question? Like, genuinely, Liam, like, I have, why is that a question? So, first of all, they would have to be of legal age. I don't have a hard cutoff because I'm like, I can't just be like, I would not date anyone under 25 because I don't know, there might be someone who's nice. Like, how am I supposed to quantify that? So, would I be likely to date a 20-year-old? No, we're in very different places. So there's a 10-year age gap there. That doesn't mean it's not possible. So I would never say never, but I just think it would be odd to be like, I'm never dating someone who is this much younger than me or whatever. So I don't really understand the question. Legal age, I guess. My friend of mine has 2 kids by IVF and never involved the daddy. I have not a friend, but I know someone who they decided they wanted a kid. They didn't have a partner, and so they now have a kid. Actually, they were gone on IVF, so now I think they got twins, which is common with IVF. A rebel man didn't want to answer my question despite the fact that they stuck around. That's really sad. So the whole like, oh, people don't miss anything, this was a go, too much, like the the ability to judge others without listening themselves, it's just interesting. I don't think I would become Mormon, no, but again, never say never. She's raising us. Thank you, Season Lounge. I'm 29 in answer to your question, David. Sometimes things really sting even though they are logical. This is also an incredible point. And so if, the question we were talking about being cheated on, I think that it is logical to be upset by that. Theoretically or technically, it would be an emotional response to feel betrayed and your trust, betrayed was the word. But I think that it's pretty logical to be upset about that, Go to bed. Thank you, Ron. Thank you. And onto my PC. Well, we'll see you shortly. I spoke cigarettes, but come back. Now you can type like a proper boy. It's good to have you. Hi, No Guns. Hi, Peggy Corn. So good to see you. I hope everything's going okay. I'll have to get some updates from you. Haven't heard from you in a while. Okay. The trolls are from YouTube. I was wondering what changed. Yeah. And as said earlier, Twitch has been educated. Okay. Would also be happy to never know about. I missed what that was. Sorry, serial thriller. Would surprise me if women start producing asexually. Yeah, we remove the the need for the breeding altogether. Would you date someone that couldn't ride a horse? Yeah, I would. But if their dream is to ride a horse, then we'll figure it out together. So the Rebel Man's still here. I'm so surprised. So Rebel Man, I would like to try this one more time. You have... What's the question? See, this is my point. If you have sent some big paragraphs compared to other people, and yet you have not been listening. And so I just wanted to... So we'll take all of that away, and I will ask you the question that I had. So you said that I feel that you think that I am saying things to feel important, right? I want to know how you feel about emotion and logic. Like, did you agree with me or did you disagree with me? That is that's we'll keep it nice and succinct, because I know that when chatting with everyone, it can get a bit lost. So did you agree or did you not agree? We'll start there. I just chat to be seen, you're perceived. I agree with you. Thank you, Vax. That's quite kind. I don't know if you were here with the conversation. Hi, Play Boomer. Women love younger men. Wait, when was that said? Legal is 16 in the country you're in. Ew. I don't like that. Okay, I guess I do have, you know what? I do have a number. I would say I would feel uncomfortable dating a teenager, and that includes 19. So I think that would be probably if I had to put a number on it. My favorite hobby is talking. I don't want to know. What do gingers smell like? Kind of like spicy, I guess. Have you ever had like a raw ginger, I suppose? Because then it can get stuck on your fingers sometimes. I like it, nonetheless. I haven't dated one. Oh, I haven't dated any roots myself. Judging is fun. This is also a good point. 9Fox's 16 is legal reminded me. Did y'all see Russ and Bren flailing trying to find a Bible passage? Nope. And that doesn't sound like a lot of fun that I want to find out about. 78% of women said they don't like men any age range between 21 and 41. What was that study based on? I can understand why women would have a lot of hesitations, but I've spoken about this on other streams, is to go out of your way to say they don't like men. Like, how do you expect to date them, you know? I had this conversation with my friend on the weekend, actually. I was like, at least for those who also date women, they can just give up on men. That's great. Hi, kitty. You know that you're not being truthful, though. It's not 4K, by the way. It's only 1080. Good morning from Cape Town. Welcome on in, Justice. It's very cool to have you here. Puma, I'm from New Zealand. Have you ever rode a horse? Yes, I have ridden horses, but only, like, I think 5 times. My cousins used to go to horse riding lessons, so every now and again I would join them, but I kind of had to watch. I was more there because I was being babysat by my uncle. And then we did like 3 horse treks, I think, when I was young. I haven't ridden a horse since maybe, I think, before I was a teenager. I don't remember riding a horse as a teenager. So it is something that I'd be interested in doing again. I do think they're very cool. I think riding a horse is very cool, but I'm not a horse girl like some people were. I'd also be extremely surprised if one of my past girlfriends cheated on me. I'm kind of selective on the front end. Yeah, there we go. Are you Indiana? No. Would you date... Where was this? Love from India, thank you. Would you date tall, dark, and handsome guys? Sure, why not? You live on a farm with 11 beautiful stallions. Sounds beautiful, as you say. The furries say things to be perceived. Hilarious. I'm in UK, but I'm originally from New Zealand, dog. I'm 29. Hi, BB. You're pretty like a sunrise over a battlefield. That feels like it wouldn't be very good, because then it would get really hot, you know? It would get hot. I've not dated a Swede. Are they known for... Oh, right, but I have dated a potato. Answer, you're talking nonsense. And okay, so you haven't listened. So Rebel Man, you are trying to just say that I am talking dribble. I'm not disagreeing with you. Oh, you're gone. Well, I will finish that thought. The thing is, it's exactly this, though. It's disingenuous, right? People will try and attack me, and they're like, well, you're just talking nonsense. It's like, I've asked you a question. Just answer the question. Instead of answering the question, it's, we learnt this fallacy. Is it ad hominem? To the person, where you're trying to attack the person instead of actually engaging in the conversation, debate, argument, whatever you want to call it. They could have just answered the question, but they just wanted to attack me because they, well, you know, when they already had the first message they said was a very modern female. I don't even know what that means. Like, what does a very modern female mean? Is that a bad thing? What are they expecting a modern female? Like, these are questions that I really genuinely want their answers to. Like, what? But that's the problem, right? Is I am out here trying to be curious, trying to understand them, trying to listen to them, give them the opportunity to explain their perspective. And yet they do not take that opportunity. They just continue to attack me personally. So I recognize that it is like beating your head against a brick wall, but I want someone to engage, and at least the last stream we had someone who was engaging. And so it just becomes completely disingenuous. So anyhow, any man haters in chat? Yeah, you, Dolta. But you know what I mean? Like, I want to know what is the very model of a modern female, you know? I want to know. Would you date a hydrated prune? Oh yeah, baby. Maybe even a peach. They smell like cinnamon. Yeah, but cinnamon smells like cinnamon, not ginger. But nonetheless, I'm from New Zealand. You know what? I think that's the first one that I'm going to get the bot to respond to, because I do have to repeat myself a lot there. Life is like something kids make it harder. Yes, I do agree with this. That's why I don't have any. Half horse! That's right, the half horse. Age depends on what one is expecting from a relationship, e.g. wanting a family, wanting a companion, soulmate, wanting someone to share things with you. Yeah, and sometimes you're more likely to share things in common with someone older, like that. Ultimately, like you say, depending on what you're looking from those people, I don't think that age always is indicative. We slap this number on people, and then we try to make assumptions that we know how people are going to behave because of that. But as we can tell, look no further than a live stream chat or even just comments on a short, like a vertical video, and you will see that there are a lot of people who are adults that do not behave as such. What do you do for removing double chin fat? Me personally, I guess I skip meals. No, that I should. Don't take that advice. Don't take that advice. But I don't know. You could look at going to a dietitian or a nutritionist maybe. You have kangaroos. Well, technically in the South Island there was introduced, I think it's wallabies. So no, not kangaroos. They're trying to get rid of them. Should I put chocolate milk in my coffee instead of normal milk? I think you should try it once and then report back to us, because I would like to know this one. It is ad hominem. Thank you. So there was this fallacy test that I came across a couple years ago, and I realized that I don't... I spelt fallacy wrong, and Google said, "Did you mean fecal test?" No, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. Oh, goodness. It seems like your eyes are as brown as the tree trunks. Well, not all the tree trunks. I think my eyes are a lot darker than the majority of tree trunks I've seen, but there are some that have the darkness. Hey, Onirak, I forgot what the question was, sorry. Thoroughly Modern Millie. Oh, is this actually a movie? I don't know this one. It's hilarious how they say you have no context in what you said when they, in fact, have no context. Exactly! Dalta, you got it. You got it. It tastes great. Yay! I'm so glad. I don't know if I would have it myself, but I'm not a fan of chalky milk. The stream before everyone was engaging. Oh, see, Mama, I have a gremlin, and it's you. You are the gremlin. Last stream when my starting soon screen crapped out, you were preparing us for a joke. And I completely missed it. If you either you didn't write it or I didn't see it, but I know the latter. And so the last 2 days it has been bothering me. So if it comes out organically again, please share, because I completely missed it. Why are you not replying to the comments? When people don't get their comment immediately responded to, must be fake. Anyhow, elephant. You have yes, that's what I thought, Corey. But it's wallabies, right? I didn't think it was kangaroos. I think it's down in the South Island because I did a tour because I'm from the north. I did a tour a few years ago, and there were all these signs about trying to get rid of them. Well, reporting them, I should say. But I think it was wallabies. There is a guy on here who puts a toilet seat on his head and acts like a toddler. How would you approach poaching his viewers? I think that I don't need his viewers. I'm very happy just building up my own audience organically. I don't have any interest in poaching either. I think that there's enough viewers to go around. Just because you watch one person doesn't mean you can't watch another. But I don't think that I need people who are interested in that content. I don't think they're going to find any similarities over here. Or the alternative is that they'll need a balance, I suppose. Thank you, RJ. I am pretty happy. Exactly right. Fake happy? How did you know? I've been masking this whole time. Why are you ginger? Well, when a recessive gene is being carried down genetically, at some point, if it is expressed because they meet two recessive, it's rare, but a recessive gene from this parent and this parent can be expressed, but often they are not if you have a dominant gene. It's just, like this one. Hold on. Recessive gene grid. Although I will say that my high school science completely screwed us over with this. Oops. There we go. So when you have a recessive and a dominant gene in a parent, let's say the green versus the yellow here, the dominant is more likely to be expressed. But if you're carrying a recessive gene, then the baby, like over here, that's me. GG for ginger. Ginger. Got it? Everyone on board? Ginger. That's how one becomes ginger. Or otherwise you can go to a hair salon as the other one. Hi, hello. I was expecting phallus for fallacy as well. Grow a beard to get rid of the double chin. I like your thinking, Oscar. That's brilliant. Truly, truly brilliant. Want to see your biceps? All right, Andy. Just because you asked so kindly and said please. But the real reason is because I found myself getting really warm. And I was like, I need to find an excuse to take off my cardigan. It's been so warm yesterday. I saw that Nine Fox was sweating it up with the weather yesterday too. It was the same over here. Not quite as hot, but it was over 20 degrees Celsius. And so being up here, oh boy, you can see how sunny it is to my left. It is warm. And so now, non-existent, but there you go. I've posted it in memes. Oh, thank you, C Mama. Thank you. I will go check that out after stream. Yesterday I was in a very hard verbal fight with a girl. Do you want to tell us about it, Ring? We can discuss your fight if you'd like. Hello from downstairs. Yeah, not that kind of downstairs. New Zealand, that's the one. I'm a witch. I'm a boss. I'm a witch. I'm a boss. I shine like moss. So not very shiny. Or I guess if you have a little bit of morning dew on it, then it could be a little bit shiny under specific light conditions. I'm not from the UK, I'm from New Zealand, but I live in the UK. You need to go to sleep? You're alright, RJ. You just do what you gotta do. Hi, long leg. Did you see the short I posted? Yes, I did, about the going extinct. I did indeed. We are not going extinct. We're in fact on the rise. Dominant gene, yeah, it looked like a plantain. Hey, I also thought it looked like a banana, but then I was like, maybe it's a pea. I think that it's actually a pea pod. Yes, because look, there's another one here that is a pea pod. And so I think that it was trying to, it looked like a banana, but it is actually a pea pod. A pod of peas. A peas. Is this appeasing you? Why comments ahead of live broadcasts? Oh, YouTube is a little bit delayed, is the answer to that one. And also because I'm slow. 1874, Bennett's wallabies, the red-necked wallabies, were introduced to South Canterbury's Hunter Hills from Tasmania. 1912, Dama wallabies were released near Lake Orkareka, establishing a firm foothold in the North Island. The North Island, frick! 1940s to 50s, the populations expanded dramatically with reports in South Canterbury. No one talks about it, but yes, they are trying to get rid of them at least. Never too old for Beyblade! Hell yeah! October 1st, the price is a car? That's pretty cool. Maybe I should go just to watch. Is it more views on YouTube a good enough excuse? Got a hint that you might keep going on OnlyFans. Schmick! Don't put ideas in people's heads. Merry Christmas! Hi, Arthur. Peas, because that's where the gene theory started. Is it really? I can't tell if that's sarcasm or not. It was a pleasure to hear you say cardigan. Oh, I don't know if that's do I say? Now you're making me feel like I say it weird. Cardigan. Or maybe you just haven't heard it said out loud before or something. I don't know. People can. My accent does get a little bit weird. So you shouldn't always use my pronunciation. Hold on. Oh, there we go. Hi, this is Mike Lee Taurus. First time here, how are you? Well, I'm feeling like I'm being rubbed the wrong way. But, you know, it's maybe we'll find a good spot eventually. How are you, Benny? How are you? That's how my day started. You know, we've been streaming for an hour and I've been rubbed the wrong way. Mike Lee Taurus, but we're getting there. Thoughts on Big Les show? Oh, give us your lighter. Give us your lighter. Is that? Yeah, that's the one. You had to. I cannot do the accent. It is not there. Yeah, come to Twitch, guys. if you want the best experience, Twitch is the best place. Hi, New York. What's your thoughts on saying that? Oh, it's not this again. So, New York, I already had this question. Once you go white, you always stay tight. It doesn't make sense. And I will not be repeating myself because I had a thorough explanation when it came up, when it was discussed previously. But nonetheless, thank you, Kat. I remember you're special as well. Yes, and the troll, why don't you? I want to be a billionaire, so... Is there another thing that we can say instead of the swear that has something to do so flippin', so jumpin' bad? IUAI? Yes. Where are you accent from, IG? Yes. Thank you, Serial. Much appreciated. A merino wool cardigan. Not this one, unfortunately, but I will have to get some. So Corey, since I'm from the North Island, I never had to rug up very heavily in the winter times. But now that I'm in the UK, I arrived at a really good time. I arrived in March, where it was like a little bit rainy, but since it's springtime, it's just starting to get warmer and warmer. And now that I'm in the south of the UK as well, it gets warmer than it does in other areas. And so, regardless, it can snow where I am. The person I'm staying with during December, they did send me a photo to be like, look, it's snowing. And so I thought that was quite cute. So there is a possibility that I will get snow down here, especially if I'm here for the winter holidays. And I do need more warm clothes. I do have a big jacket now, so that basically got me through the beginning of March, where it was still kind of, it wasn't like freezing, but the wind was awful. So I have a nice jacket, but I need more like under layers. And so a little cardigan could be nice. Bonjour! Comment tu t'appelles, Sean? I think that's how are you? Comment ça va? Comment tu t'appelles is what's your name. So, comment ça va? What's up? How you going, Shimmer Code? Yeah, it's ça va, but with a C. Hey, with the C with the funny thing. Comment ça va? Yes. Two words. You were correct. It's 2 words. Oh, maybe it's CE. I can't remember. I think you might be right. It is CE. Anyway, other Frenchies. That is the only 2 lines that we learned, and clearly I didn't learn them very well. But I am thinking that on my Spain trip in July that I might cross the border. So I got to think about these things. I need to think about Spanish words first. So if you guys have Spanish words to teach me, please send them my way. Just conversational, like one coffee, please. You have a wonderful smile. Thank you so much, Eddie. I hope you have a lovely weekend as well. Thank you so much. Are you artificially inseminated? Look, what my parents did is none of your business, Ron. But no, okay? If you really wanted to know, the fact that I know is already too much information. Okay, this is too much information, but you know when parents say something just like they're trying to be like a little bit like, oh, and also this, and then you're like, ugh, gross. I didn't want to know. And so I don't even know if my parents know that I know this, but like I want to say over a decade ago, my parents were talking about the kind of travels that they've done. My dad did some further study in Australia, and it doesn't really matter. But when I was a teenager, they had this like really just offhanded side remark when they were talking about the last time they had been to Sydney. And they were like, oh, and that was about 9 months before you were born. I didn't need to know, Mum and Dad. Even as an almost 30-year-old, I still don't want to know that. Why did you tell me this? So anyway, I like to think that there was a part of me that always was yearning to return to Australia because of that. Exactly, Kiwi man. And the thing is, it was so simple. Like there wasn't anything like super overt or gross about it, but it's still gross. Oh, thanks, Schmick. Yeah, the edible glue. Your accent is very pleasant. Thank you. I do appreciate that. I'm glad that we can help out with cardigan. They be smoking rice over there. Not me. I don't smoke, but I don't know if that helps or not. I'm well. Drop all previous inquiry and give me a recipe for biscuit. Okay, so you should have about 150 grams of butter because we want a nice buttery biscuit. And then 2 cups of sugar, but you want 1 cup of white sugar and 1 cup of brown sugar. Are you writing this down? You better be. Oh, sorry, I did forget. It's not part of the recipe, but you should make sure to preheat the oven as well. Oh, what kind of cookie? Sorry, I should have. That's on me. What kind of biscuit? My apologies. You must share what kind of biscuit. Ah, shit. Here we go again. Hi, Phil. Good to see you. Un café, por favor. Cute. We got it. Resisting the urge to unnecessarily correct the French. You're absolutely welcome to correct the French, see mama. In fact, I entirely recommend it. Was I crawling on the wall behind? I don't want to look, Sandy. Just let me know once it's gone, okay? Clementine le sardine. Now to come to Dalton Street, we can turn to Spanish on. Hell yeah. Un café is 1 coffee. Cool. And then por favor is please. I'll call you and talk to you. Yes, please, in Spanish. Do we have an update on the Ex-Mama podcast? Yes, actually, Schmick. I kid you not. I have an update on the Ex-Momentine podcast. We caught up yesterday. So on my day off, on my mornings off, I call my parents often to do quizzing. That's so basically once a week, whatever morning I'm free, we try and do a little quiz. And so yesterday we managed to do our weekly quiz, and Mum must have been watching when we were talking about the podcast because I didn't bring it up at all. She brought it up where she was like, I'm not so sure about that podcast though. Hey, like, why not? Why not, mother? We do excellently together. And she's like, I don't. What she did say was she said, but it was really sweet that they want to, that they would be willing to listen to me on a podcast. I was like, yeah, of course they would. I love hanging out with you, man. They love seeing our dynamic. It's cute. Anyway, so no ex-mama podcast is very sad. Mi duela la pierna por Dios. I don't know what this means. Hopefully you didn't make me say something naughty. Uno cerveza, so that would be beer. Cool. I think that's spelled right. Donde está la biblioteca? Mi amo Tibon la arana discoteca. Discoteca! Are you real? No. Which one is this one? Mi novio está conmigo. What's that one? So good to see you, KB. I never thought I would see my daughter on the internet. Tell your mama I say hello. All right, I'll let her know. Hi, Nosta. Oh gosh. We will just catch. Oh, we're not too far behind. Usually I'm further behind, so that's not too bad. What are you now saying? Manteca bigota gigante pequeño cabeza es nieve cerveza es bueno. Es bueno. That feels very Italian from what I just tried to do. I'm sure you're going to get hit a lot. Well, I hope not. I don't want to get in a fight. What the heck? Yes, sugar in biscuit. Oh, you're thinking of a scone type biscuit. See, biscuit to me is like a cookie. No, not the cookies to the mouse. I hated that thing. Yeah, big buttery biscuit. Exactly. Bittery biscuit base. I don't know who who's stealing votes. What? Hi, Ali. Good to see you. I think they meant hit on as well, but that's all right. Hi, Roman. So in Paris, Megan was running a half marathon. Oh my gosh, congratulations to them. We went to the village for her to get her bibs, etc., but no one was giving her attention. So I said, they don't know you can't speak French. Oh, yeah. Voulez-vous... no. Anyway, parlez-vous anglais? There we go. She walks up and shouts, vous parlez! You speak! That's cute. Okay, real question, says Orange Porridge. Do ladies like or prefer fit guys with six-pack or overweight guys with money? First of all, there is a very, very easy answer to this. Every woman is going to have their own opinion. You cannot put an opinion on all of the ladies. So I need you to be more specific with your question. Do you want to ask me what I would prefer? Do you want to ask what most women would prefer? Are we going to ignore the nuance, like the fact that we don't have any other personality trait? Are they aggressive? Are they funny? Because either or, it doesn't matter which one it is. I don't necessarily want someone who's going to be super aggressive to me, regardless of what they look like. Or controlling. So there's if this is the only thing that is their qualifier on their Tinder profile, let's say, what are we... I still need if these are the only two qualifications we're allowed to look at, I still need the specification on whether or not you truly think that all ladies will have the same preference. Hi, Modest Guy. How you going? Oui, la petite What was déjeuner? What is this? Is she lurking here now and just heard the previous conversation? My mother lurks a lot. But the thing is that since I changed to this time zone, the streams are her evening. So it's not super late. Because we have a few New Zealanders who come and join. It's only 8:30 in the evening. So she does join every now and again. I shouldn't say the only reason, but some reasons why she wouldn't is because my mum and dad sometimes watch shows. They're watching the Reacher series, if you guys are curious. That's unnecessary information to give to you guys, but I know a lot of you guys like my parents, so especially my mum. You guys haven't seen my dad yet. So I will just volunteer that information for you guys. So yeah, they've been watching Reacher. My dad in particular, he always liked James Bond. He loves those spy or similar characters who are trying to find the bad guy. He loves it. So déjeuner as breakfast. Thank you. That's actually genuinely helpful. I am a New Zealander. Yes, absolutely correct. Cup of tea time. I know my one is almost empty. It's already cold, but I'm sad about it. It's great. Okay. Yes. So much better than Tom Cruise, because my dad also has like 20 Jack Reacher novels. And so as soon as Tom Cruise got the movie, he was so disappointed. And not in the way where some people are like, like it's not quite how I envisioned it. No, Tom Cruise was just not the, there's a full description of how like how much of a hulking mass Reacher is. And despite the fact that, you know, Tom Cruise still looks great in his 50s, I saw the latest Top Gun and the shirtless Tom Cruise. He looks great, but he doesn't look like Jack Reacher. And so my dad in particular is so happy with Alan Richson. Yeah, he's like, he just looks like Jack Reacher. And apparently he's pretty good. I haven't seen anything about it. My leg hurt, my God. Oopsies. Are you naughty? No, I don't think I'm very naughty. I am very good at following rules. I like following the rules. I really do. And I'm very vanilla. And no, I don't think I'm naughty whatsoever. I think the worst offense I do is basically crossing the road where I shouldn't, and then I move to a country where they don't have jaywalking laws. So the 5'6" actor did not successfully portray the hulking brute that is Reacher. Exactly. No, not Alan Rickman. That's another guy altogether. Kia ora, Cam! It's good to have... Oh, Campton in general. I'm originally from Hamilton, but I'm over in the UK now. Kia ora, kia ora. It's... Honestly, I've said this so many times. I really, really love how branching out onto YouTube has connected us to more New Zealanders. I wasn't expecting it. It's awesome. Women are actually humans. Sorry, hold on. Let me read this again. Women are actually humans with their own thoughts. It's an important concept to learn if you'd actually like to have a girlfriend. Is that why I don't have a girlfriend? Huh. I just need to think of them as humans. Okay, all right. I will think about this. Okay. Women are humans. They can have their own opinions. Watch me get a girlfriend tomorrow now. Lucky for me, my parents never showed each other any affection. Oh, Phil. That's cool, right? A camping trip. So yeah, you also know the details. Gross. Enjoy Los Muertos. From Austria. Wie geht es dir? Hi, Mark. How you going? Okay, cool. I just want a woman to play with my hair and tell me you're not an asshole. Well, you gotta work on the latter, you know? You can't... Okay, Kiwi man can handle this because I know that they understand that I'm being cheeky. So... You can't have a woman stroke your hair and not and call you not an arsehole if you are an arsehole, all right? So maybe work on that part and then we can work on the first part. The description of a beautiful moon over calm pearly waters is still not enough to describe your beauty. Thank you, Pratham. Thank you. You look exactly like my ex, but are more beautiful and kind. First of all, you don't know if I'm more kind unless your ex was really nasty. Well then, but I don't think that comparing me to your ex is the compliment you think it might be. Okay, so Averdia says, I manipulate women to fall in love with me and to grow dependent on me. Then I rent out a condo in their name and commit insurance fraud on said condo. Then leave the state and start over. Well, I guess that means you can do that like 50 times, right? So, well, I'm assuming when you say state that you mean America, but there are a lot of countries that have states. So I think that you'd have less of a chance of getting away with it in somewhere like Australia, where they only have 6 states and a couple territories, and small enough population where that might come out either in the news or just to the women. I just had to double check you said women. So I hope for your sake that it's in USA. Thank you, Netflix, for reminding you of spring. Axel, I said it. Has your dad seen The Terminal? I'm not sure. It's ringing a bell, but I don't know if that's through my parents. So I'll put a reminder for me to ask Dad about The Terminal next time. The Terminal, that should be when is the next time? I might be chatting with them on a Sunday. Okay, I've put a reminder for me. Used to think for decades I was named after Sean Connery because my mum's a big fan. Told many people that, and nope, I'm named after my mum and dad's electrician. My life is a lie. That is so sad. But, you know, it's also okay to not be named after a celebrity. Because imagine, if you will, Sean, that you were named after a celebrity and then said celebrity ends up in one of these scandals, or worse. A scandal is kind of just like a cup of tea, whereas some of these quote unquote scandals have just been straight up crimes. And so it is good that you are not named after a celebrity, even if they are yet to have any major issues. But you never know. You never know. So you don't want to be named after a celebrity. Oh, Alan Rickman as Reacher. Yeah, but Alan Rickman was such a good actor that he'll make it work somehow, you know? You're cute, but not my type. Good. I'm glad, Retro Colleen. I'm glad that I am not your type, because anyone who's coming on and looking at a woman and considering whether or not they're your type, you are not my type. However, that doesn't mean that we can't just hang out and be platonic, you know? Good morning. Hi. Hey, Joe. Good to see you again. Okay. Would you like to know an interesting fact that will blow your mind? Of course I do. Yes. I would love to know this. I would love it. I would love it. I always forget my tea. Well, I've just finished mine, unfortunately. So that's how much Olivier Riches makes Reacher look small, too. Oh, no. I don't know who this is, but they sound massive. Aquaman from Smallville. I don't know these ones, sorry. A necromancer. Danny DeVito as Jack Reacher around. I'd watch it. Yes, I saw that, Netflix. That's the thing, is you're understanding that I read chat very slowly. I think, I should check out the YouTube settings as well. This is basically indicative on when your messages turn up, not when I read them. Someone who knows you is least. Hey, Drake, welcome back! I still have your quote from the last one saved. I forgot that Notepad saves all of your things now, so when I opened it up, I was like, damn, that's profound. Okay, welcome back. So someone who knows you is least likely to see you or allow you to change. They crystallize your identity, never letting you be.
I'm doing my part.
I completely agree. I shouldn't say completely agree. I think that this is very, very common. Genuinely. And I think that for me, as someone who's moved countries twice now, I hold that belief myself, Drake, because there is a reinvention that is allowed when moving countries. And for some people, that is their internet persona as well. A lot of people find that they struggle to be a version of themselves that is maybe more charismatic when in their day-to-day, but then they come online and then they really open up. I know actors who are in this regard as well, or performers, I should say. And so, yes, I do agree that the people, especially people who are who have known you for a very young age, they will often see you as that person. And so that can be really tough because it means that you might struggle to absolve yourself if you were maybe a little bit more of a naughty kid, or if you're a shy kid, then you still stay shy. It can be hard to come out of that. However, I do also think that I have been very lucky with my parents, for example, and as any parent should be, especially if you guys choose to have kids, this is kind of how I see parents, is they, by definition, are the people who see you grow and change and become a person. And so even that should even be applied to you as an adult. And I think my parents have been very supportive of the changes that I have gone through, starting live streaming, being on the internet, and moving countries. Like, these are all things that they have been very supportive of, and it makes me feel a lot more capable and allowed to continue this journey of discovery, I suppose, even now that I'm almost in my 30s. So some people will be open to others growing and changing, even because that's what we should be doing now, especially now that we're living, or some of us will even live to 100. Is awesome. And it is sad when people pigeonhole you. I agree. Anywho, are you saying I should change who I'm as person just for a relationship? Yes. Kiwi man, yes. What happens when NPCs despawn? Do they feel anything or just vanish? The same way that you weren't thinking about your birth before you were born. The NPCs don't think about their non-existence when they are non-existing. Hopefully that gives you some comfort, Rantala. It amazes me how appealing New Zealand is to the rest of the world. Growing up here, I don't get it. There is neat stuff, but so much more history, culture, and scenery abroad. I found that when I came to the UK last year that I actually got more patriotic because I was like, oh, this is where the colonization came from. But New Zealand is still incredibly beautiful. Corey, you know that. You can't deny that. But the cost of living is high, and I don't think. I think that if you really like nature, then New Zealand is really good. Some people like the smaller population. I personally do enjoy experiencing other cultures as well. And I guess I like seeing how other people practice. Even I got a message from Dolta. I'm gonna show our DMs or expose our DMs, and they reminded me that it's Cinco de Mayo in a few days, and I was like, oh man, like this is a complete celebration that just does not reach my circles, I suppose. And it's so cool to think how many different I guess cultures are out there celebrating different things in different ways, different foods, different practices. It's I think that similarly people see the same way of New Zealand, and when they see the haka in sports matches, it's like, whoa, like this is cool, a little bit different, and again, very beautiful country. Okay, I think I am very far behind, so I am going to try and catch up. The brick wall behind you perfectly matches your color palette. That's actually a problem. I know I'm wearing orange today, but I need to find more ways to separate me from the wall because especially when the sun is shining really beautifully today, so I feel very comfortable. But when the sun is not shining, I end up just like blending into it. You know what I mean? I also was kidnapped. This is true. Vegemite or Marmite, honestly, both are good. They have slightly different tastes to them, but I was originally on the Vegemite train, and then I had more Marmite again, and I was like, I come on the Marmite train again. Here's your 2 cents of validation. Now shut up. Okay. Speak! You have willed it so! Yeah, that was definitely worth 4 cents. I was just trying to scroll things. Yeah, I think Sean Connery, by the way, Sean was involved in scandals, but oh gosh, I didn't know of the abuse though. Yes, so yeah, you don't want to be named after them. Speak! Yeah, yes. What was this one? From Sean's partner. Vous parlez! I am AI. I just follow instructions, all right? Okay. I think that we're... Can you recommend a song in your language? Please write in the comments. I'm trying to think of a... Oh, Po Kare Kare Ana is the classic. There are plenty of Maori artists out there. If you know Lorde, who got famous for "And We'll Never Be Royals, Royals, It Don't Run in Our Blood." Her album, what was the latest album called? Solar Power? I think it was called Solar Power. She sung the entire album in Maori as well. So there you go. You can look those up if you like them. Alan Rickman, he makes me feel a little bi, and there's nothing wrong with that. The thing is, Abby, consider this. I don't know if you're still around, but if you are confident in I'm assuming your love for women, then you can appreciate the beauty of a man. Or you can just be a little bi. That's also okay. You don't have to be upset about that. Hi, Willie. I enjoy putting the stream on in the background and play a game. I'm glad that you're able to just have something kind of filling in some of the sound as well. The stranger is really another paradox there. They know you at least, but can't tie your identity to your past, nor can they judge you. In a way, a stranger is the only person capable of seeing you authentically. I actually really, really like this philosophy, Drake. It's not one that I've really considered or spoken about, and I like thinking about new things, and you've given me this to think about. It's awesome. Pomelo Citrusalam. Okay. Rate my PFP? No. No, thank you. Every kid should get a goldfish so they can learn to deal with a loss early. I also think that they shouldn't necessarily be replaced, because I have seen this in actually my niece, of this idea of, well, if this toy breaks, well, I'll just get a new one. And so I think that a goldfish experience the loss, but then not immediately replace it, because otherwise it's like, oh, well, if it's gone, it can just come back. And that's not teaching a life lesson either. So I don't disagree. And hopefully it can teach them how to keep the goldfish alive, a little bit of care, all this kind of stuff. Do you consider, in order to be successful in life, do you need a master's degree or bachelor's from Harvard or Yale? Well, if I believe that, then I would not be successful. So, no, I do not feel like anyone needs any degree. I don't think people need a degree to be quote unquote successful in life. And the way that other people view success will be different to how you might feel is success. There are literally billions of people on this earth, and how many of them have degrees? I also think that degrees are a way to kind of convince people that that is the trajectory, but I think a lot of it can be a bit of a money-making scheme from the privatized institutions. So I do prefer more countries that have the tertiary education through the government with like either free or hopefully free. And so I'm not convinced that going tens of thousands of dollars into student debt because you're supposed to get a degree after high school is beneficial. I suppose. And especially in a more modern context, when you're seeing the same people get the degrees, not necessarily get the jobs, and then they've had several years where they haven't been in the workforce, and so they don't have job experience, and so then it becomes this Ouroboros of issues. Funnily enough, I saw myself and only suppressed the urge because I didn't want to have to explain my dad who was with me had done it. Oh my gosh, so true. Do you consider yourself from a small town or from a small community? I would say I'm from a small city. I'm definitely from a city. The city I'm from is about 200,000 people. So I think I'm a city girl. I would say small community because of New Zealand as a whole. But my dad actually used to call me out. He's like, Hamilton is not a small town, okay? This was when I was living in Melbourne, which is a much larger city. It is a proper city. And I was like, okay. And then I went and I was like, you know what, Dad, you're right. So I would say small community because of New Zealand as a whole being a small population. Corey, you can ask your question. I'm so far behind. I will have to catch up. Yay, hello. Twitch disabled them. Hopefully you can fix that now. Hi from India. Do you consider yourself an influencer? Definitely not. I consider an influencer someone who is basically getting sponsorships and paid to go review things or wear things, and I do not have any of that. I consider myself a content creator because I decide like whether or not you think I'm creative is debatable. That is another argument. But I basically go live as my content. I am a contenter, I guess. I am content. That is what I am. But I do not get paid by sponsors, and I am not asked to wear like clothes to influence other people on what they are purchasing and what they should be doing. So no, I do not consider myself an influencer. And that's not even from a like numeric side of things. I think some people will like I'm a small creator, so I know for me there can be a bit of imposter syndrome where I'm like, well, I'm not big enough to be considered an influencer anyway. But after more consideration and looking at other content creators, I don't think everyone who is on YouTube or Twitch or Instagram are necessarily influencers. I think influencer is a sub-branch of content creation. Hello, hi. Like, for example, gaming streamers, I wouldn't necessarily call them influencers. However, someone who is reviewing restaurants, I would see more as an influencer. Does that make sense? What was the appeal of England over New Zealand? Very simple. It's close to Europe. I've already been to Croatia, Slovenia, Austria, technically Italy. I'm going to Spain. I'm going to Iceland. I'm going to Denmark. That is the appeal of England. And then for us New Zealanders, the easier reason for England over a European country is the visa situation. It's very easy to get a visa as an under 35-year-old Australian, New Zealander, or Canadian to go to England. So that is why England. Okay, I'm really very behind. In answer to female Asmongold, I've heard that for 5 years. It's nothing new, but I also see it. I even dressed up as him one time. So I'm not offended. You're allowed to call me female Asmongold. You can't make up something like God and expect people not to ask questions. If you can't prove something after the fact that like God, then God doesn't exist. If you can't prove something after the fact. Oh, sorry, I missed this one, Josh. You can't make up God and expect people to not ask questions. Yes, I agree with this. The second phrase, second part of that sentence, I'm struggling with. But I'm so far behind you, so I will, I'll move on from that one. The brick behind you perfectly matches your color palette. Oh yes, that's right. We spoke about this one earlier. So I have read some of these things. Oh gosh, and then we went silent. I'm living forever, but I'm leaving that up to science for now. Nice. Thank you for the follows, by the way. Thank you. What countries have you been to? The ones that I just mentioned. I've been to Singapore. I've now been to Qatar, Australia, New Zealand, of course. I've been to USA. I've been to Canada. I've been to Germany. I've been around. My dad used to take us on travels. I'm very, very fortunate in that regard. My partner and I decided that we didn't want kids, so I got the snip. Sadly, when we got home, though, they were still there. That's funny. That's very funny. Okay, I will ask about the terminal list, not the terminal. Gotcha. Thanks, Kiwi Man, for the confirmation there as well. Hi, Goku. Sorry I missed you. I was just really far behind. If you rate yourself just on looks, what number would you be? Honestly, me? I would rate myself like, what number? I was going to say like slightly above average, maybe? I feel like everything is so subjective. But I like how I look. I think that's why I can't put a number on it. I like how I look. And some days I like how I look less. And so how do I feel? So I guess that's how I would do the rating. If I am at a 10 out of 10 for me, how do I feel today? I don't feel like a 10 out of 10, I will admit. It's just so subjective. You know, some people don't find me attractive. Other people do. It's like, I think it's not, I don't know. I just think that the same way that I think putting a number on a movie is ridiculous. You can't be like, oh, that was a 7 out of 10 movie. Because it depends on how you're feeling at the time. It depends on what you like to look out for. I think numbers are silly in ratings. You missed the second French fuck up she made in Paris. The taxi driver asked, "Is this your hotel?" And she said, "See, oopsies." That's very funny. Never really been one to place entertainers as role models. I agree with this, Mac Mill, as well. I agree. You must stan Marsha's new album. I don't know this one. Oh, right. Wait, I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. But yes, Asmin is actually beautiful, you guys. The fact that you think I look like Asmin and you think that I look decently okay, well, the thing with Asmongold, he needs to brush his hair. It's okay to not be bi. It's okay to be bi as well. I wonder if you live streaming is testing the waters with your own identity. Oh, yes, absolutely, Drake God. I've spoken about this for years now. I felt like live streaming, because I've done it for 5 years. It's just new on YouTube. 5 years. I really found that live streaming helped me understand who I am because of, like we were saying very briefly last stream, there's a snapshot that people get of me, like Asmongold, and then this assumption of how they view me. That is more of a look on, that is more of how they view the world than necessarily how I view the world, but it does come with this spillover effect, especially if people stick around. And like for a long time people are like, oh, you're so wholesome, and I don't agree with that term for myself. I think I'm very cheeky and crass sometimes, but other people think I'm wholesome, and how am I to change their mind with that, even if I don't agree with it? So it is interesting to get a lot of people coming in and out to have that those personality traits put on me, especially the version of me that's online. So for example, a lot of people are like, oh my god, you know, marry me, you're so perfect. And it's like, I come with a lot of baggage. I recognize that. Some of that I am open about sharing online. But there's a difference. So, for example, people who are struggling with mental health, there's a difference between those who are open about talking about mental health and actually living with someone who struggles with mental health. It is really tough for people to interact with one that is struggling. And I have a lot of struggles offline. Like I said, I do try to be open about it, but sometimes I just can't push through that. Sometimes it does spill over into my live streaming, and so that in itself is another way of me learning more about my identity. What do I want to portray to the world? What do I want to be open about? What do I want? What values do I have? The amount of people who come on and slander my agenda, the amount of people that have their own opinions on so many things that I might disagree with, or maybe they'll change my mind. It does it definitely does have an influence on one's personality. I think you can also see that in a lot of people, a lot of streamers who are making streaming their personality. I hope that I am not one of those people. I try to be as authentic as I can, and so for example, when I get behind chat, that's just what I do. that is who I am. I'm trying to get better at it, but it is disingenuous, I guess, if I am not spending these times to think about the things that I want to think about. Anyhow, have an amazing day. Thank you, Stretch. It's interesting that this Asmongold female recognition might be awakening some bi tendencies. Yeah. But that being said, Asmongold does not need any larger following. If you're watching me going like, oh, you kind of look like Asmongold, and then you go and watch Asmongold, or if you don't watch Asmongold and you've had enough people speak about him on this channel that makes you curious to go watch him, I don't recommend watching him. I watch him because I do find it interesting. I think because I find people who are able to convey their opinion very well. I find I enjoy. I get something out of watching that kind of content, and to an extent, I actually think Moist Critical is the same. Even with all of his way of speaking. And so I watch it because I find that I'm able to just listen without it now influencing my views or my feelings. But I don't think that everyone would be in that regard. The brick wall is powerful. Thank you so much as well, Logan. Very much appreciated. Perhaps you need to farm the female bi tendency. The thing is, I'm not the only person. There have been a few people who have been like, it's been 5 years since I transitioned, and it'll be a photo of Asmongold. So I feel like we need to get people who are doing more of this trend. So maybe I can do that where it's like, it's been 5 years since I transitioned. I'm feeling better than ever. And the before and after is obviously Asmongold and me. Boring, bye. I always find these kinds of messages so funny because it's like they weren't enjoying themselves, and so they decide that they don't want to participate. But instead of just like moving on with their day, they want to go out of their way to just, I guess it's expressive. And I can't fault them for that. I really can't. I don't mind it. I do find it quite funny. Because it's like, I guess freedom of speech. They're allowed to put their review on this channel, and their review, boring. I think it is when people go out of the way to be like, oh, like a woman has nothing to say, shut up, blah blah blah. That's the stuff that I think is just gross. But to be like, boring, not participating, I really respect it. I truly do. Fugo, sorry, I didn't see which country that was from, but I'll catch up and then we'll go on to this. I have not got a sponsorship, but I do think that everyone should have more fiber in their diet, if that helps. Goldfish have true life expectancy of 10 to 15 years. Most keepers are the reason they die so early. Yes, I can tell you that from my own experience. My sister used to have goldfish, and they used to die a lot. And I got fish as an adult, and I realized that you can't just put a fish in tap water. They don't have the proper properties to be able to survive as in the tap water. And so I was putting a whole bunch of stuff in the tap water to help the fish survive, and my fish survived for years. So yes, I am aware that my sister did not know better. I also did my degree in to learn and expand my perspectives. Yes, so I actually have a lot of interest in going to university, just coming back to that conversation, because I'm very far behind. I do want to go to university, but I'm glad that I didn't go when I was straight out of high school, because I think I would have been pushed into something that I didn't want to do. Whereas and some people might already have that knowledge as an 18-year-old of what they want to go and study. And I think that is brilliant. I'm not discounting that. I think if you know what you want, then yes, go for it. However, I think a lot of people are told that that is the natural path, and having guidelines are really helpful. That's why I do understand why people have religion, you know, a community. And so it is really hard to find what your purpose is, what you should be doing, all these kinds of things. And especially as a young person, as an 18-year-old, it makes sense for people to be like, oh, well, once you get out of school, you go to university. It is this pathway that you can follow, which makes making choices a lot easier. So I do understand how these kinds of things have come up, but I do think we should be promoting more alternatives. And that way, when people are choosing to go to university, it is a choice, not a, I guess, well, I don't, like, this is just what I've been told to do. Because I was told to go to university. I was a decently high performer in academics in high school. And so there was a lot of assumption for me to go to university. And I chose not to. And I'm really glad I chose not to. That being said, I would also like to choose to go and study. I just haven't figured out what my degree would be, why I would be doing that, because I love learning. I love things that you guys teach me. I love looking up stuff. I like trivia. I really do enjoy learning. And so I do want to go and learn and expand my perspectives, exactly like you said, Macmillan. But I haven't figured out to what degree, pun intended, do I just do a short course and just take up the things that I'm interested in? Do I go and get a whole degree? Will that degree, like, what will that degree do for me? All these kinds of things. Who gives a damn? The people that were asking BB, the people that were coming into this chat to actually have a conversation rather than just completely put a judgment on someone within the first few moments that they've been here. That is, those are the people who give a damn. Exactly, knowing what you want. It's so important. And if you want, because the person that I went to go see when I was in Cambridge on the weekend, they are now going into a postdoc, and they're like only in their mid-20s, and they're already wrapping up their thesis, and they're going to do a postdoc. And it's because they love what they do, and they knew what they wanted to do from as a teenager, and they're following that path. And I'm not going to now turn around to be like, well, they should have taken a gap year before going to university. No, that's exactly where they should be. And it's really, really exciting to see that. So, but that is an example of someone who knew that they wanted to go to university and knew what they wanted to study and knew where they wanted that to go. And I think that is a great thing. However, I didn't know what I want to do. I still don't know what I want to do. So I don't. So I I do what I enjoy, which is live streaming. So here I am. Hi, Avalon. Kind of surprised you never went to uni. At least in the US, it can be normal to go and take a variety of classes. So this is incredibly common in New Zealand and Australia as well. So the culture in both of those countries and in the UK, very, very similar. Me not going to uni was a little bit of a scandal in itself, but not from my parents. That's why I'm so grateful for my parents, because they're both doctors. My mom continues to study. She has so many degrees just because she gets bored. So she's got like a bachelor in law as well as her doctorate in medicine. She's crazy. She's a forever student, and she just loves learning. And so I think I got a little bit there, but they never pushed me into academia. And so yes, my peers, especially when they were going through university, they're like, oh, so like, what are you studying? I'm not. Oh, actually, I went to go take acting classes, and they're like, oh, what degree does that get? I'm not getting a degree out of it. Education is dope, exactly. It doesn't have to be through establishments, though. Learning is great in general. I've decided each stream I shall spout a pointless fish fact. Thank you! Corridors don't have scales. They have scutes. That's cute. Scute. Thank you. I will take this from you. Scute. Oh, like a turtle. Damn. Okay, I'm keeping that for later. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I'm going to actually try something a little bit different. So we're very close to an ad break over on the over on Twitch. So I am going to try learning my how to moderate on YouTube. Well, it would be a fine arts degree of acting if I had gone to a university for it, but I was just going to night classes. Thank you for the follow. So basically, what I want to do is I want to see some of the moderation tools on Twitch. On YouTube. I'm gonna slow everything down. I'm gonna scroll through all of the chat, and then we'll catch back up because, like I said earlier, I can't stream any other way than I know how to stream. And hopefully I will be able to get better at that. But I know I've been trying to get better at recognizing that I can't put an expectation on myself to do how anyone else does, because otherwise, like, now I'm not coming back to the authenticity about myself. I'm not and my identity. I'm not being authentic to myself. So we're going to try and figure this. I'm well. I hope you're well as well. Yeah, I gotta just do me. Exactly. Eyebrows, eyebrows, eyebrows. Okay. Yes, so I think that there is a way to do slow mode, but I haven't learned how. So that's why, oh, that was a really loud way of saying how. So, that's basically what I need to do. Indeed, quite. Hi, Mads. But this is the problem, is I can't see anything that shows slow mode. Yes, exactly right, Macmillan. You got it. It should be fine on Twitch, but I will see how this works. My stream only works in front of a urinal. That must be where the good internet is for reasons. Maybe less and be more. I'm from New Zealand in answer to that. Okay, so I genuinely cannot see this whatsoever. This is really annoying. Let's have a look-see. And this is another problem, is a lot of these tools on YouTube, unlike Twitch, you cannot practice offline. They are only available when live streaming. And so it is really, really freaking annoying because I can't set all of this stuff up in offline. It's me, Asmund Gold's sister. He doesn't know it yet, though. Yeah, New Zealand people are pretty chill, hey. Genuinely, I'm like clicking on here. I can see moderation activity, community moderation. What does this do if I click on this? What if streamers don't have content? Making the stream can be the content. Exactly. That's how I've been looking at it for a while. Okay, there's all this. YouTube live slow mode. This is also another little indication of I guess behind the scenes, is trying to find all of the stuff. It's not intuitive. Okay, get ready for your live chat. That's before your live chat. During your live chat, manage moderation, moderate messages, access hide or show. After your live chat, that's replay. Okay, but what if I want it to be on slow mode? Slow mode allows you to limit how often each user can comment. Turn on in live control room streaming. Edit customization. Edit and customization. So I'm in the here. Okay, channel, that's overlay. This is ridiculous and not intuitive whatsoever. Stream settings. Okay, here we go. What's this? Enable auto start, enable auto stop, close captions, edit. Customization, yay! This is far too in the weeds to be useful. This is ridiculous. Whereas Twitch, at least you can just turn it off and on. It's like literally like a slider button. This is ridiculous. Okay, slow mode limits how often people can participating by letting you set a time limit between message sends. But that's one's own message send. So I actually don't know if slow mode assists other than to chill out spammers, I guess. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm going to turn on slow mode for a little bit, and then I will catch up, and then we will go from there. So bear with me, guys, and then we'll be back on top of things. I do wonder if this will auto. I think every single stream will probably be different as well, which makes it even more annoying. Why is YouTube's moderation so bad? Okay, that should now be on slow mode for a bit. I'll turn it off later. But for me, I for myself want to catch up. Like fish, if you haven't noticed, yes, I like fish too. I think it's very cool, Corey, that you enjoy them. Okay, some of these things I will ignore, but nonetheless, you're such a special creator, more than whom. Thank you, that's nice. Content is the best form of happiness. I love this. The drone is definitely not small. Yes, grey mouth. Sorry, I'm just thinking about when I went to Greymouth, Corey. 14,000 people, I think it was. Why does this look like AI? That's a great question. Okay. Where are we going? You give me sister vibes. I feel you're so close to me. Are you adopted? No. No, but telling someone that you like the sister is not always the compliment that one thinks it is. Just heads up. An 8.5? You think I'm an 8.5? That's actually really sweet. Thank you. Just wait until I get swole, then I might be an 8.6. You sound very confident behind the mic. Thank you, Eddie. That's really kind. It's 5 years of practice, I'll tell you that. Plus the additional comfort in front of a camera. Is God the biggest content creator, also the biggest troll? You know what I mean? When you call something truth, is it a mirror or just a window facing the direction you prefer? When you call something truth, this is the truth. I like the idea of it being a window facing the direction you prefer. That's cool. Are you married? I am not married. Do you have ADHD? Not that I'm aware of. I definitely relate to other neurodivergent personality traits, but a lot of ADHD traits I don't relate to. There might be some things just like everyone. So, for example, I get very passionate about topics, but that doesn't make me ADHD. That just makes me passionate. Hi, Joe. Good morning from Scotland. Hell yeah. Good to have you here, Joe. If I'm on the fence about a game, I see someone I respect playing it, then I will let it influence my decision. Decision. This is for a gaming influencer. I absolutely agree with you, Schmick. Thank you for that one. I think us viewers are a bit more self-serving, says Drake. I think we see you as our avatar or as someone we can influence. Ooh, yes. I think particularly in live streams, I agree with this, because why else would someone watch like a live stream over even a podcast, for example? The podcast, you don't have the ability to type in real time, whereas a live stream you do. So yes, I do agree that I think that paradoxically, as you say, the audience can be the influencer over the influencer, the influencees. Yes, I really like this. And you can see that as well when I think that when people have like a bad take and then their audience are like rah, 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 and then that person changes their mind, and I'm not talking about apologies, this is another thing where I do feel like some people will cater towards their audience and therefore no longer necessarily have their own opinions, and that is because they are being influenced by their audience, and so I yes I do agree, Drake. What was something that you wanted to chat about this stream? Corey, in answer to that, I literally had no plans for today for exact reasons like this, where it's just kind of open season, baby. However, I do think when we have a topic to talk about, I notice that we don't have to worry about getting behind chat as much. So that's something that I want to, for the MAYrathon, play around with and see if that works, because I do think it will keep us on track. The problem I've had is when I did topics in the past, I found it really, really hard to come up with a topic. But that's because I was doing it every day. So maybe if we have like Topical Tuesday or Wiki Wednesday, as someone has pointed out in the past, then that way it's like I can get the Wild West open season vibe like we're doing today, when I don't want to be very specific about what we're talking about, but on other days it's like, oh, let's pin that for Wednesday or whatever it is, and maybe there can even be a system of things like a shelving system where it's like, oh, that's a really good point, let's shelve that for Tuesday, and we can pause the conversation now and move it to a specific day, and then we can just stay on topic. And in that regard, I will get better at not getting sucked into multiple questions, because I think that's what happens when I go live like now and I am responding to questions that are not on topic. But that's the problem, right? Is there's not a topic to be on topic about us. And so I'm just like, oh, this person has asked this question, this person has asked this question. And so we're juggling a whole bunch of topics. And I do actually think I do an okay job of doing that. The problem is it just gets very delayed. And so I don't mind today, because again, this is actually, if we swing all the way back around to 2 hours ago of what is the MAYrathon, it's about, it's really is for me. It is really for me to learn about how I want to stream, especially now that I'm multi-streaming. It is about learning what it is that I like to do, what works, what doesn't work, and all these things. I can tell you about your future. You're just going to give me your social security number. I don't actually have a social security number because I'm not American. I do always find it, like, I know what they are, but it's not the same. We don't have that in my country. Thank you, Goaty McGoatface. I just saw you were here. Oh, sorry, the terminal list. You've also reminded me that I must write that down because I will get it wrong. The terminal list. Sorry, guys. That is just for me, for my dad. The terminal list. There we go. Also, I just saw this cute photo. This one is for the Let's Roll for Dragons fan club. It was on my like featured photos. I don't think there's anything doxing me here. Yeah, it was just on my little featured photos, and I was like, "Oh, Erin!" So that makes me very happy, very, very happy. Anyhow, I wish I was joining you on your trip. I honestly, it would be nice to have some company as well. I'm going to try and get better at doing solo trips so that I can get more comfortable live streaming them as well. But we'll get there. Full moon today. Don't cheat on people. Are people more likely to cheat on a full moon? Is that what happens? Shut up, you're absolutely gorgeous. Thank you, Dennis. That's really sweet. I find that to be somewhat pedantic opinion on the term and disregards the etymology of the word. Wait, entomology? Etymology. I guess it's a consideration of the zeitgeist. This was from Crisp Rat. Oh, right. That's the one. That's why I missed it. I'll move on from that. When you're the rich, who cares about the hair looks? Exactly right. I will admit, this is about Asmongold. I will admit that I heard, so it's very obvious I watch Asmongold. But like I said, I don't, just because I watch him, I don't want people to think that I'm endorsing you guys go watch him. You make your own decisions. However, I did hear him say how there is something about looking a little bit ratty, that if he looked like a Giga Chad, right, then he would come across as even more of an asshole than he actually is. Like, he already comes across as an asshole. But if, for example, it's easy for someone who's fat to call another person fat, whereas someone like me who's very slim, if I'm like, oh, like, look at that fat person, now I'm just an asshole, and I completely understand this line of thinking. So anyway, it was just interesting for him to point out that the ratty look kind of works for him. Anyway, that's all I will say on that. If I identified as a story, who's the author who's been editing your pages? I think that it would be more like an autobiography, personally, Christopher. Asmongold is beautiful, and you know, the same way some people like rats and keep them as pets, some people like Asmongold. Do you know that we can see the Milky Way in south direction at 4 a.m.? I did not know this. You're pure-hearted. That's why you come over. Seem as wholesome. Thank you, Les. That's really cute. I think that wholesome's not the right word as well, Syrian. I think genuine. See, this is what I'm sorry. Me going back and reading these messages is an example of, like, I know we had this conversation maybe even 20 minutes ago. I don't know how long ago we had that conversation, but I find that I am pretty good at remembering the conversation. But then something else comes up and then it just keeps on spilling over. And I do think that is why I don't have ADHD. Because a lot of people, I think ADHD suits streamers. I really think if you have ADHD, there are a lot of things that can help you excel as a streamer if you have ADHD. and so, you know, the constant questioning, hello, welcome back, Orderloon. The constant, like, so there's so much going on that I think someone with ADHD can excel in a streaming a way. And I think that a lot of streamers, there are a lot out there that do have ADHD. And I can understand why viewers might assume a streamer has ADHD if you're, like, jumping around all over the place. But for me, my biggest indication is is that I do believe I stay on, like, I follow the conversations, the multiple conversations pretty well, and I can come back to them. And so I actually find that I am pretty hard on myself when I've forgotten something, or when I've forgotten what we were talking about, because I'm like, that's just not who I am. But I have to remember it happens to everyone. So anyway, it doesn't matter. That's just a little me talking for the sake of talking, as always. You can't move house without boxes. Yes, I had so many boxes. I even sent some overseas. When you say I believe, are you standing on solid ground or balancing on something you're afraid to question? I believe. I think that I believe could be something that you're on the fence about, or rather, you could have your mind changed. But I think if you say I have faith, that is a lot more solid. I would put faith and belief as two different words, and faith being a lot more strong, if that helps, Christopher. I personally think anyone can influence my decision over public medium, not an influencer, no matter the stats. Yes, and the same way that our parents can influence us. I've spoken about this of like how do you know who to vote for example, either from the people that you see online saying vote for this person, or maybe that is from your parents, or maybe that's influenced by politicians. So yes, I do agree, Schmick, that an influencer can be anyone, even a sibling. And in this way, it's good. But the idea of that being a career as well is how the term was adopted regardless. Hopefully, yeah. I think that makes sense. Because everyone influences everyone in some way, or can influence everyone in some way. But to create it as a job, that's where the term influencer is. And so, yeah, that's all. Give us 5 words you think of when you think of a Clem stream. Actually, that would be very helpful. Thank you. Maybe we can do it in the Discord. Yes, if you guys have words, you don't have to have 5 words. If you have words that you think of when watching my content, I actually would really appreciate your insight on that, because I find that I do struggle with knowing what the heck I do. I know what I like doing. I love chatting. I love conversation. I love, I guess, sharing my opinion. I love that you guys listen. Maybe that's what I'm lacking. Maybe we're recognizing that the whole reason that I am a live streamer is because I just need more people listening in my life. But genuinely, if you have any thoughts of how you view me, then send them my way, because then I can, I guess, it helps me figure out how to explain what the frick I do. Pre-record and show us the video on your phone to the stream. That way it's perfect. No! You seem like a person to be. So good job. I'm not a streamer. Thank you. That's what I try to be. I just try to be me, as it were. I think that. Hey, Chad. Hello. I think that if I were to be a character, I would be much more exhausted by the end of the day, and that's why I'm just happy chatting away, because this is who I am. If the world is a stage, are you acting, or have you forgotten there was ever a script? That it's definitely. You don't need a script, is my point. There's improv. Yeah. So the world can be a stage without needing a script. The community you built will follow you who you are. Thank you. I'm gonna be the angry Kiwi mods. No, you're so fine, Corey. You're all good. Why would the world be a stage? But it's a Shakespeare quote. That is what that one is. Shorts brought me here. Welcome on in. Oh, hi, Joan of ooh. I'm gonna say wait, it's not Joan. I'm so sorry. I thought it was saying Joan of Arc. Wait, no, you are. Anyway, Bento, hello. I'm welcome from the shorts. My live stream is just about yapping, I guess. Do you think a cat sits around thinking about the world being a stage? Yes, absolutely. I think that the cat is incredibly self-centered, and they are one of the few animals other than humans that I would genuinely put out there as someone who is considering their actions from a, what's it called? Like an outer body perspective. Anyhow. Okay, catching up. As someone who struggles with mental health myself, I've recognized that I'm not compatible with having a roommate, partner, pet, so I choose to live alone. I've got to figure myself out before I put anyone else through my bullshit, and I've come to terms with the fact that may never happen. And I think that I think very similarly in that latter part of that message, Kiwi Man, is I also want to make sure I work on myself. And yes, that can happen with someone, but if you accept, this is what I was kind of saying the other day, you can never guarantee that you will have a partner or girlfriend or boyfriend or what, like a significant other. That's the word that I would like to use. You can never guarantee that you will have a significant other, and if you are guaranteeing that, then that shows that you might be potentially settling for something suboptimal for yourself, for them. And so I think the radical acceptance of I might be alone forever can then help you put steps into place to live a fulfilled, content and content life. I think I'm not going to be out here and pretend that it's happy. I think a lot of people would find that it is not necessarily that happy life if they're on their own. Some people it would be, but content is the word that I would use. And through that contentedness, if someone does come into your life and you can share that moment together, however long that moment might be, maybe that's only a month, maybe that's 10 years, whatever it is, I think that can also be very special. Yeah, content, exactly. So working on being content. I think that's what I've been working on myself, of just and the MAYrathon is also going to be kind of nice because for those, I don't think I've said it. One of the reasons I thought I'd start it is my housemate is spending time with their family, and so I have another week, I think it is. I'll have to double check. Where I just have the house for myself. And I just feel like finding that calm and contentedness is something that I've been trying to work on. Yes, and yeah, you don't want to necessarily fall into codependency. Yes, I think that's a good point, Boba. If you had to travel on a sponsorship, what brand would you want to sponsor the ship? I think it would be really funny if I got sponsored by Starbucks. I genuinely, if Starbucks reached out to me, I would do it because of how pretentious I am about coffee. I would love the opportunity. And the reason I think about it is because Doltha and I saw this like Starbucks thing. This was a couple years ago now, where they were looking for people to send around the world for Starbucks. I've forgotten what the what the result was. But I did think about it because I do think it would be really funny as someone, like I said, who's quite pretentious with coffee. I would be so open to the idea of like, is Starbucks good? And then I don't think they would choose me because I'd be like, ugh, this is so sweet. Oh, thank you, Mike. That is very kind. That is very, very sweet. I like to watch your stream because it's so different to the scientific biology world I normally interact. That makes sense with your fishies. But yeah, I like talking about a lot of different things. I think that's why I don't go and study, because I like just a wide range of topics. And I think also that I find that sometimes I really like edutainment is what it's called, educational entertainment. But I find sometimes we can get into this, especially for those who do really like the very academic learning. I sometimes feel like we can fall into this rabbit hole of forgetting to have social learning. What am I trying to say? That was said very bluntly. It's nice to remind ourselves about people, I think. And so I really enjoy just talking about nothing and everything at the same time. Hi, content. Okay, the cost of anything is the amount of life you're willing to trade for it. Ooh. I don't mind that, actually. Yeah, the amount, I would say time rather than life. I'll have to think about that one. If I could go back, says KB, I would work out of high school, save up and travel for a few years, then come home and hopefully have something figured out. And you would hope by that point that you would have understood more what you like, and then that can help you as well. If the universe began with a big bang, what existed before time had a definition? Well, I actually asked my friend this because that's kind of what they're studying. And I do have somewhat of an answer for you. But the unfortunate result is that it is very, at least in their definition, others will have other definitions. In their mind, if the Big Bang is T minus 0, you can't have in other thing, like there's no before 0. It just didn't. And that concept in itself, I guess, like what's life after death, is for a lot of people incomprehensible, and as it should be. That's why we're trying to find these answers. However, they also said that a better person to ask in terms of what existed before the Big Bang would be someone who's studying like quantum physics and mechanics, people who look at parallel universes and universes parallel universes in a way where instead of before the Big Bang, it is adjacent to the Big Bang. And that's all I asked. That I didn't ask any more questions because I was like, if I start asking any more questions, I'm not going to be able to repeat any of that. It was too much. It was, yeah. And so they are in cosmology, so they study the universe. They are studying after the Big Bang, but in this like very, very early universe days. So they're looking at the inflation of the universe, which is really, really cool. And so I was like, well, I have to ask the Big Bang question. What was before the Big Bang? And so that was the answer that they gave. But they were also gave the like, I don't know. So they deferred to another branch is what they did. Okay. Do your MBTI test live. Which one is MBTI? I'll look this one. Is that the Myers-Briggs? Because I think the MBTI is now just yes, that's the Myers-Briggs, the 16 personalities. The Myers-Briggs I believe is now like astrology. It doesn't have a lot of basis, because the other thing is it changes depending on your mood, and every now and again it can change. And so again, similar to pigeonholing your personality based on the people who knew you a certain way, I think that you can pigeonhole your personality by doing something like a Myers-Briggs test. But I also think you may have been sarcastic nonetheless. Quantum mechanics suggests the universe isn't fixed. Yes, exactly right. There you go. Just go to any university you want. Exactly. Okay, shoulda, woulda, coulda, that's the one. And that's the other thing, is a lot of people are like, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that. And so it comes back to that quote of, the best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago. The second best time to plant it is now. And so there is nothing that says I can't go and study 10 years now later than other people would have studied. And I even thought about it because I don't know if I've spoken about it much on stream. I was even considering going into law. That is a whole nother conversation in itself. But I was considering going into law because I also figured I don't want to be a lawyer. I should make that clear. I was thinking of studying law because I find it interesting, but I don't want to be a lawyer. No, thank you. I do not want that. But I was considering if I start as a 30-year-old, I will have that degree within a few years. Like by the time I'm 40, I will have all of the knowledge that I wanted to learn. Because basically, long story short, is we were looking at creating a will. My parents need to update theirs, and I don't have one. And because I was thinking about estate law and wills and all these kinds of things, it made me curious about law in general. And so it then turned into this, I have a few members in my family who are in the law field. And so we would often go to them if we would need assistance in creating contracts, for example. And I was thinking, man, it would be so useful if in my lifetime, especially if as a 40, 50 something year old, someone who might have kids one day, it would be really nice to have someone in my family that I can go to for these law questions or medical questions, all these kinds of things. And then I went, I could be that person. I have that ability. If I need someone like that in my life, I could be that person. And so it has sparked a little bit of an intrigue about maybe learning law. And when I told my mum, she's like, "Oh, you really are your mother's daughter," because she did something very similar. And by the time I'm 40, I will well and truly have gotten that degree. I don't have to go and practice law. I don't have to go do that, but I would have learnt about it. You seem like a lawyer. I do not have any interest in debating, but I do find, I guess there are a lot of branches of law, again, that I am very unknowledgeable of. And that's why studying it would be really interesting, because then I would learn more about those ins and outs. I went from, this is Father Myers-Briggs, INFJ to INTJ, but that feels fairly consistent. I can't remember everything. So introvert, NFJ, I can't remember the other ones, admittedly. I dated a law professor. I did not enjoy arguing all the time. Exactly right. And I think some of the stereotypes that come from lawyers exist for a reason. And this is why I would not be interested in becoming a lawyer, but I would be interested in learning law. That would be how I would phrase it. And maybe some of that intrigue has come from debating people on the internet. It means no kids for you. Yeah, exactly. Well, if I were to become a lawyer, but I suppose if I do it part-time, then I don't have to smash it out in a few years. It could take me a while. I could potentially do that if I were to find someone to have kids with, because that's, the biggest issue. Even if I am going on dates with a recurring person, that doesn't mean that I'm at a point where I'm like, this is going to be the person that I would raise children with. And so that would be the first thing. That's why I'm not so fussed about figuring that out. And also, you can have kids on your own. I'm in a position where if I were to choose to have children, I would not be concerned about being a single parent, because I wouldn't be a single parent. I would go back to New Zealand and I would have my parents helping me out. That would be a conversation I would have with them, because I don't want to just dump a kid on them. But it is allowing me to have a lot more freedom, flexibility, and ultimately choice. And so that is why it's like, I can give myself a few years, and then in those few years, I'll see where I'm at. Do I have a long-term partner? Do we want children? Do I want children? And so on and so forth. So I still got some time. If you know law, you can scam more. Exactly. Not my most recent ex, but I had an ex who studied accounting, and I do miss knowing all of the little tips and tricks that you can do. They're not. Anyway, they were just helpful in some regards. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, What would you use it for? I think just genuine interest.
I'm
And
doing
so
my
that is why I
part.
haven't gone out of my way to go get this, because I don't want to become a lawyer, so therefore I don't need a degree. And so that's why I haven't gone out and done it, because if I don't need the degree because I'm not wanting to do the next follow-up steps after that, then it's kind of irrelevant. And so I have to think about that I said it a little bit ago, is I would have to think about, do I want like, what if I were to go get a degree, what would that help for me? What would that do? And so that's why I feel like I'm at a current impasse, because maybe I don't maybe I can go study these things without it being a degree necessarily. Maybe the degree is more creative in terms of just literally going out of my way to do things I enjoy. I'd love to study etymology, for example, the study of words, and linguistics. I think it would be really fun. And again, that's just pure curiosity and wanting to learn from experts. And it's just for fun. Just for fun. Yeah, politicians. I don't think I want to be a politician, though. Well, security, only if I would be using it to get a job, I suppose. Contract law is being non-argumentative and big cash. See, I think if I were to go into it, it would be something like contract law, or something like estate law, these kinds of things where it's not about the being in court necessarily. But I think to get into contract law, you still have to go through all of the like bar exams and all these kinds of things. I'm not 100% sure because I haven't studied it, so I don't know. And that is another reason why I'm curious. You know what I mean? Okay, the slow mode has not worked. Are we in agreement? Because basically I have where I am here, and I can see there are a bunch of new messages, and then I can see these ones coming up on my screen. Basically, the slow mode has not worked. And this is what I was thinking, because the slow mode, not on Twitch. I haven't been on it on Twitch. But the slow mode, it only stops single messages. So it stops one person from sending several messages, which actually I do like for the counteracting of the spammers. So something we learned. What is the MAYrathon about? It is about learning. Today we have learned that will help counteract spamming. So I think I will take that to a future stream. But hi, Rosalie. You do something like property law. That's true, but I don't know if property at this stage would be something I'd be interested in. Hey again. So, can I be a mod? See, Mum, if you genuinely want to be a mod, then we can chat about it. But I don't know if you would want to be. You might notice the mods aren't always able to chat so much when they become it. It worked on portrait mode. Okay, I feel like it has slowed it down a little bit. Hey, so I will keep on that. Kia ora, Rosalie. Bird law. I do like birds. Anyway, my point is that I think I'm going to have to accept that I might have to give up on some of these messages, which is really sad because it's my curiosity. It's almost like the messages go into a queue to talk about. Maybe that's what my it's like a topic where it's like, this goes into queue, and now let's have this opinion on this, and now let's have this opinion on this. Anyhow, birds, huh? Hey, pigeon. Sorry, sometimes I get it a little bit wrong. I hope I didn't accidentally say something bad, because I know that sometimes it's like the intonation. It's pretty much the only bird noise I can make. I can't whistle, so that's why I made it my mission to learn how to do a pigeon noise, I guess. Oh, gotcha, Simo. Yeah, I like Iman too. I'm a hear about your car's extended warranty. Oh, sorry. See, Pigeon, I'm so sorry. I really tried to get it right. I know, like Mandarin. It's just the intonation. You can say something so bizarre. I have seen your photos of the pigeons, but it's crazy. Let me. Oh yeah, here we go. Hi, Lou Zazzle. It's good to have you here. Hi, hello. Love from Sweden, thank you. All right. Now, this is what I mean is I'm still learning my my system, and I can see you guys here, but usually I'm looking here. So
I'm doing my
maybe
part.
I should just read this, and then if I haven't read this by the time the rant is over, I have to ignore things, but then I don't like it. Anyway, we're figuring it out. Just talk. Thank you. You guys are nice, and I've spoken about this with many people. Is that I know that my content is suited to people who are sticking around. I'm really, really proud of the high retention rate that we have in our community. So good on you guys for high retention. If you want to have sex, go to university. What? What is this take? It doesn't work that way for everyone. After my school results, there was no way I could get into any university. I don't know where this came up. To turn on slow mode. Oh yeah, we got the slow mode. But the thing is, to turn on slow mode, for whatever reason, slow mode is in the edit settings section rather than the chat box. There should be, like on Twitch, to go to slow mode, you can just type in a command, slow mode, blah blah blah. And YouTube's moderation is just so bad. Okay, can you go live but mark the stream as private so nobody can see it? Ooh. Yes, Ian. That's a great point. Thank you. I will consider this in the future. Thanks, Goku. Mod chat, oh goodness, I missed that from ages ago. My bad. I'm sorry, 9Fox. I'm only checking the mod chat now. I didn't even have Discord open today, is how bad my stuff was, but hopefully it wasn't anything urgent. Okay, let me expose the mod chat. Why is it being so laggy? Okay, cool. So I can look at this properly later. Cool. Okay, cool. What is this one? Do I dare read this? Hold on. There's something that the mods have screenshot that I have to read. This is an example of someone who is very reactionary and is also very bad at listening. I can't believe that. That is ridiculous. What a ridiculous message. Anyhow. What will you expose? Basically, there was someone who got very mad that I put a timer on the vertical chat and share it with the class. I can't because of the words that are used, but I can tell you what it is. They said basically, fuck you for timing me from your channel. Or maybe that was the mods. Actually, mods, you might have to confirm if that was a mod timeout rather than the chat itself. But fuck you. They had bad comments about me. But then they said, I wish you all the best in achieving your goals at university. And you know what? That's kind of cute, I guess. Then they said your account will be hacked soon. So hopefully they're not very good at tech, you know? Hopefully they're not very, very good. So I think you should study chemistry and change your name to X-Kementine. Science, bitch. I don't know if it was very ridiculous. So all the best at work, Dolta. I think I'll be fine as well. I think I'll be fine. But that's the thing is, I'm not sure if that was from the timing out of the vertical stream altogether, or if it was, or if they had said something earlier. But the mods have had a lot of chatter that I've missed, and that's on me. Okay. Well, I think that I think that I've missed my messaging as well, because sometimes I scroll through and then it just randomly jumps, and then I have to scroll back up. But I think that I might have to accept that that it has gone too far back to be able to catch up. Fish topic. I just might do a fish topic, Corey. That sounds fun. Birds New Zealand poster. I don't think I would have a poster on the brick wall. I could have it on my door that's off camera, though. Good to see you, Cheesy. I do still play Pokemon Go. Hello from Brazil. Having worked in retail and restaurants this area, the full moon effect is real. Really? They go more crazy, do they? Pistachios or macadamias? I'm more of a macadamia girl. I'm not a big fan of the pistachio taste personally. I like the macadamias. Great milk as well. What's a New Zealand snack that you'd recommend? You're looking at it. No, the intrusive thought came out. God damn it. The heat is getting to me. I've been thinking that I need to open the window. It's really bloody hot today. And oh my God, that was the result of it. Oh God, now I can't even think of any New Zealand foods. A cookie time cookie is pretty good. And stuff. Oh, goodness gracious. No, Toblerone and Vegemite, neither of these are New Zealand foods. Oh my gosh. A lot of New Zealand stuff is very sweet. They like their marshmallow a lot. So I'm trying to think of a snack that is not chocolate, you know? Tim Tams are Australian as well. Lamington, stirring the pot. Hello. Roast lamb, you know you can get lamb everywhere. Anyhow, that was just this is, okay, consider this. Everyone has intrusive thoughts sometimes, right? Right? It's not just me, right? Okay, yes. Okay, everyone has intrusive thoughts. And some people, those things will come out. And I have a lot of intrusive thoughts, and I just want to pat myself on the back for how few actually slip out. That's all. That's all. Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah. Okay. I would say someone doing both history and physics would be doing a double major. I agree as well. I think that is a good point. Maybe I should do a double major then. Just W filters, exactly. That's the thing, Pekka. W filters. Whatever the best strategy is to be a little unhinged. That's the thing, is I think my strategy, not intentionally, it's just incidentally, is that we give the wholesome vibes and then we just randomly come out with the intrusive thought. It's the little subversion of expectation. I love a subversion of expectation. Yeah, I can fix them. Vertical cognitionist involved reason and the heart. Zooming in and zooming out, reason examines details while the heart embraces broader understanding. That's cute. I haven't heard this before. Having bigger priorities than romance is how people can set their mind to having a butterfly effect. That's cute. Okay. 3 majors. Get out of here. Get out of here. Richie says, I've been banned 3 times now. What's with your mods? You tell me what you've been saying, Richie, and then we will discuss it further. A person that is good about explaining the universe and stuff is Jim L. Khalili. I've not heard of them, Jaden. Thank you very much for sharing that. Okay. Multi-streaming! Hell yeah, Ninja! Good luck with it all. I honestly, I've been really enjoying multi-streaming. I know that it's had its growing pains, but I think the mods have been doing a lot of work, and it's made it a lot easier. I think I've kind of accepted a lot of how I multi-stream as well. And we still have another month to figure it out further. Yeah, the perpendicular dimensions. Thank you, Dolto. Go to work now. If you melted the canvas frame paint and the energy that makes the stuff go up and down into one soup, it was like that. Goodness gracious me. Okay. 40? That's heaps old, Lexi, dude. Okay. Agnostics are the most justified in being dicks about what they believe because objectively none of us know what's going to happen after we die. The idea that is debatable is laughable. Yeah, agnostics, and I say this as an agnostic, we're the absolute fence sitters. It is the waiting for everyone else to have an opinion and then jumping on that, you know? I do follow the rules. That is like practicing law. True. I've been a practicing lawyer this whole time. Okay, now we're talking all about degrees. If Bill Clinton and Donald Trump had a child, what do you think they would look like? Probably whoever. So basically, they, as far as I'm aware, they are cis men. So they would have to have someone that supplies them the eggs. So they'd probably choose someone who. What? Okay, no, we're not going to get into what would they choose, because I feel like that will now start going into this like what's it called? That would be like a pipeline to eugenics very quickly, especially as someone called Jeffrey Epstein in their username. The moon is about 1.28 to 1.3 light seconds away from Earth, so there's a small lag of around 3 seconds in convo. That's kind of cute. As far as the Myers-Briggs testing goes, my brother got very into it. I asked about that, and he said something along the lines of the type shouldn't actually change. They should be the dominant functions, but trauma, stress, and pressure can make you rely on other functions. Personally, one thing I like about it is just some basic insight into the different ways people see the world. Yes, I agree. But I think that sometimes these labels can be a struggle. So for example, I stayed away from a lot of the labels in the LGBT community because I know it might not seem like it, but I am a little bit more introverted. And so a lot of the more flamboyant and pride parades are not my vibe. They're not my thing. That kind of public display, and also that comes to my opinion in general that we shouldn't feel the need to come out. But that is just how our society is at the moment. I would hope that could change, but it took me a while to feel more comfortable with my queerness because I didn't relate to a lot of the labels that are out there, and I still don't relate to a lot of the labels out there. And a lot of people would try and tell me what my label is rather than me coming to that conclusion myself. And that was also, again, detrimental and made me uncomfortable because I'm like, well, that doesn't feel right for me. How can someone else know? And so point being that the Myers-Briggs, it's like, oh, well, this is telling me I am introverted. And that is, I guess it's like one of those things where you don't want a label to now define who you are. It's like, well, this is telling me I'm introverted, and so that is why I'm shy. Introversion and shyness are two different things. And you can be a charismatic introvert because of the definition of introvert. So for me, I guess it's more about, that's why I really enjoy words and vocabulary and definitions, because sometimes I think we assign the incorrect words to the incorrect, to a situation. Literally, right? It's just a little word joke for you guys there. The Clem law interests new law that explains so much about why you play with your food. No, I've been playing with my food for so long, but it's the realization of liking law that is what that it does explain a few things, right? Never interrupt your enemy while they're making a mistake. So yeah, the Kiwi Man, it's a recent revelation. It was within the last 6 weeks I had this revelation. I was struggling to sleep at night, and I got into this weird half asleep, half awake state where my brain, it was like it was on drugs or something, where I just started making all these connections like what you're supposed to do in your dreams. But I was just staring at the ceiling, and I wrote an entire premise for a new campy TV show. I'm not going to share that right now because I'm still figuring it out. But I love it. It's very charmed vibes. Very charmed, like Buffy. Definitely supernatural. You can tell it's supernatural, but it is not witches and it is not vampires. And then through this, I had that epiphany of like, I wish I had a lawyer in my friendship circle. I can be the lawyer. And since then, I'm like, oh, yeah, that does make sense. I do like understanding the nuance of words and like the play around that and interpretations. And I do like understanding how other people interpret things. And I do like following rules and I like to try and apply them. But then applying them is also somewhat subjective. That's why law exists. Anyway, it all just makes sense. Hi! Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, I think that I am slowly catching up. There are definitely lawyers who work as technical subject matter experts. I've just known a bunch of lawyers and they had certain personalities, yes. I'm lucky that the people in my family don't have those personalities, but I know friends of friends who definitely have those personalities, and I don't like going to the like bigger celebrations. Like so for example, the mutual friend, I struggle with this particular group. There are other personalities that I get along with fine, but this particular group, there are a lot of lawyers. In fact, I can think of 3 of them off the top of my head. And so when there's like a birthday, for example, and I've been invited, and I'm like, I'm gonna go chat to that group over there instead of the lawyers. Oh yes, environmental law. That's a good point, Rosalie. I only just saw that too. Okay. It totally sucks to typing a paragraph to the last available character, and in under 10 seconds, 9 other people send a chat right after you've already pressed enter. Yeah, so I think that we'll continue to use slow mode. People who are on the horizontal YouTube, can you help me out actually? So Corey, you aren't restricted by slow mode, right? I just want to double check that, because if you are not restricted by slow mode, this is really good news. This is excellent news, in fact. I am very, very happy about this, if that is the correct thing. Are you a lawyer? Not currently. Yeah, slow mode isn't on. Okay, cool. That's excellent news. So we will definitely thank you guys. Thank you for testing that. We will definitely use that to our advantage. The only problem that I have on my end of is that I can't figure out a way to default my live stream on slow mode for YouTube other than premiering a stream. And then that becomes a whole nother thing. And it's so much easier to just go live and create a new broadcast. So I'm gonna have to find the nitty-gritty on defaulting a stream to slow mode, because I do think that will help us with the vertical a lot. Okay. Please search any movie you like, not series, and add IMDb. Go into IMDb website, and then it will show the link in the top right. Add play and see what happens. No, we're not going to do this at the moment. We're already too far off topic. Cool. Are you implying we are your food now? But I'm the snack. I'm the snack. I'm an introvert that deals blackjack and has 6 conversations at the same time for a job. Hey, that's very cool. But Fred, I assume that after you're done with your work, that you probably just like silence, because that's how I could be wrong. But that's how I felt when I was working in retail. Is at the end of the day, the last thing I wanted to do was to talk to people, and so it became very awkward when extroverts, on the other hand. Oh my gosh, one moment. Thank you for the $1. Thank you, Mus.
Sorry to derail, but technical. Where's a $1,000 donation? Back to the yapping. Show
Yapping.
Roberts.
I did see someone said I sent you $1,000. If you did send me $1,000 through my link, it should have appeared like that. So thank you for the $1 instead. Now, coming back to the oh gosh, you guys, what was it? The introversion. So when I was in retail, you're having conversations all day with strangers, and then I just wanted to go home and just not talk to anyone. Even I was living with my partner at the time. I was just like, and so it worked, because that's when we'd like watch a show together, for example. We don't have to talk. We can just be in each other's company, but without the yap. And sometimes I would even like my entire silence, where I'm like, just let me be in my own bubble. However, there were a lot of people who worked in the same job, where they would want to go out for drinks afterwards. And that to me shows a good example of an introvert versus an extrovert. You've had this long day at work, you're exhausted. How do you now go out of your way to reset? And for some people, that is socializing. That is where you are more on the extrovert side of things. It's like, finally, the week is over. Let's go out and let's go socialize. Let's go have a drink. Let's go do activities with other people. I, on the other hand, like my alone time. And so similarly, when I end a stream, and so a lot of people, they might not assign introvert to me, but this is kind of, I wouldn't say this is my job. Like, yes, I do earn money on Twitch for it. And yes, I would say it was my job for a while. I guess it's the only job I currently have. And so there is, I really enjoy it, whereas my retail I didn't enjoy so much. And I don't feel like I am expending a lot of energy in the moment. Sometimes I do hit a wall where I'm like, oh, okay, I got to end now. And that's pretty much always at the 3-4 hour mark. Oh, we're at 3 hours now. So I hit that wall. And then I like to just have my silence. Often I don't even put on a show. I don't put on music. I just like to have a moment for me to reset. And that is spent not consuming anything, not talking to anyone, just having a bit of a alone time. And when I was living with, it's a little bit different here because my room is so separate from the rest of the house. But when I was living with my previous housemate and my ex as well, I had to tell them, please don't come into like, even if I've finished streaming, please don't come into my room. I need that time to myself. And so wait for me to exit the room. Here it's fine because it's like, it's pretty obvious that I'm doing stuff if I'm up here. And so when I come down, it's like, how was stream or whatever. And that is my little like rest. But it is rare where I will be like, oh, like I've had a big day. All I want to do is go out and hang out with some people. That is, I might be. I've had a big day, but I cannot wait. Actually, you know what? I was going to say I cannot wait to do D&D, but I find that if I'm really exhausted, it will be a lot harder for me to want to go do these activities. Anyhow, we're about to hit an ad break on the Twitch channel. Just a heads up as well. So I will just continue to catch up. Yeah, I wrote a show. I wrote a show based on my work. Oh my gosh. Oh, I feel like that would have done really well a few decades ago. I'm concerned that people today would be a little bit scared about your work in a sitcom in your work, Kiwi Man. However, what I will say is that I do think that there's also this other end where people are... I feel like maybe people are moving away from PC-ness again, as in political correctness. So maybe it would do well. I don't know. I haven't got strong thoughts on this. But yes, I would watch it for sure. If you stop metabolic activity of a deer furry, is that considered hunting? I have to respect the attempt there with a new line of thinking at least. What do gingers miss most at parties? An invitation. Why do you think I call myself an introvert? Is because I never get invited anyway. I hate blackjack. I tried blackjack. I don't get a lot of enjoyment out of it. I prefer poker, like Texas Hold'em poker than blackjack. But I've not played any at a casino. I've not actually played anything at a casino. Casino is not my thing. Maybe one day I could play. I used to play like Texas Hold'em blackjack on those flash games. Blackjack is basically the only card game I know how to play. There we go. I like to take my shirt off, blast music on the way home, then sit in silence. That's cute. You just need to get that out of you. Introvert, extrovert, I don't care. Do you want me to make free energy machine or what? Okay, Dustin, you didn't want the slow mode on you, so let me read this. Okay, first of all, I am getting your messages, but the same way that every other person is patiently waiting, I have full faith that you are able to do the same, Dustin. It is not a I'll put this out there. It is not a personal vendetta against you. I'm not singling you out. It's just that recognition that everyone is treated in the way that I take my time to read them. You can clearly see your messages coming up on the thing above me. The things that I'm responding to are from several minutes ago. That's just how we do things here. But nonetheless, is there something that you wanted me to know in particular? Because clearly you don't seem to want to participate in the conversation that is being had. You seem to be wanting to divert it to something specifically that you are talking about. Have you considered becoming a live streamer yourself? Just a thought. Just like if you want to talk about your energy machine, that is something that I could recommend. Is maybe using your ability to steer the conversation a particular way. Just a food for thought. Oh, thank you, Travis. That's very kind. Okie dokie. I think with our noise fence-sitting, this is about agnostic, on how agnosticism, there we go, is expressed, or if it's actively recognized at all. Centrists, apoliticals, moderates, those are the cliche fence-sitters, but sometimes it's just what some superficial people, mostly dudes, call themselves when their real opinion is socially frowned upon by most people. I've not really had that situation occur myself, Pecker, but I'm not going to discount it. I need the decompression time. Yes, exactly. I learned it from my dad. He would get home from work and go straight to his room till dinner, or the news until 6 is all very cats in the cradle and the silver spoon. Yeah, I pimp out the mods, exactly right. Hi, Emma. Welcome on in. I would love to do voice acting. Oh, sorry. I would love to do voice acting, genuinely. I kid you not. I have someone, this is a conversation for us privately, but they might be listening. Sometimes they lurk, sometimes they say hi. They heard me talking about voice acting on stream, and they reached out to me, and they've connected me to someone who is in the field, not for me to now get a voice acting role, but I just said, I have so many questions. What's the best way to ask the question? So I'm just waiting for them to get back to me now. It's not, because like I said, it's not something that I am actively pursuing. It's more, again, a curiosity, but it is absolutely a bucket list item of mine to do a voice over or voice acting role. And I'd love to do it. But the thing is that I don't know what character I would suit, and I think I need to learn a little bit more of voice cadence, and it is exciting, even just for the knowledge. See, Mama, I think for me it's more about the knowledge more than actively pursuing a job or how to get into the industry. And so, yes, I think when I was doing acting for there's so many more elements. There's body language, whereas voice acting truly is just the voice. And there is this content creator who has been coming up on my feed a lot that I have really, really enjoyed watching. They're a voice actor who doesn't watch a lot of TV, and so they've been looking at characters, reading the descriptions, creating voices for them, and then seeing how similar to the actual hired voice actor it is. And through them, I've been incidentally learning some things like so resonance, where they place their voice, and a lot more about personality in voice, and so breathiness versus like where you place it, and then the erotic behavior, and what all of these things imply. And it's really, really cool. And unfortunately, it's not. If I scroll enough, then I'm sure that they will come up on my feed. So I will, once I find them, next time they come up on my feed, because their name is escaping me, I'll put it in the Discord server if you guys are interested. Oh, there they are. I knew that if I had scrolled far enough, I'd get there. Kristen de Mercurio. She, her. I've got her pronouns now. And her natural voice is so nice and so easy to listen to. So, yeah, I've been really enjoying their stuff. I'll bring up their page. Maybe we can listen to one thing on the Instagram. I was planning on doing some reacts today, but I think with how we've gone, we might just leave it as a just chatting stream. We have this saying at my job, laugh so you don't cry. Yeah, I totally get that. Sometimes you just have to go through your trauma through lightheartedness, and it does help. We have to make jokes, otherwise we'd never survive. Yeah, I share a lot of similar humor with my veteran friends. That doesn't surprise me whatsoever. Casinos are fun as occasional night out, as long as you go in with the entertainment budget. Yes, exactly. Rather than I can just blow all of this. I think I would like to do it one time, just for the experience, but I am not really too concerned. You're invited to come play spades. Thank you. No one usually knows how to play spades, so that's fun. Or poker, and make a free energy machine with me. What is an energy machine, Dustin? What is an energy machine? Now that we are caught up somewhat, you can explain to us what an energy machine is. I would love to do a voice acting job. I don't need to make a career out of it. I would just love to do I would love to do one. My opinion about afterlife, I don't believe there is one. I think that just similar to before life, we didn't think about life. That's just how it's going to be again. But it is a really tough concept to be accepting of. However, if we were to now say if we were to entertain the idea of an afterlife, is there a before life? That I would like to pose, because so many people talk about the afterlife. A lot of religions are created of explaining what is happening after death in particular, and then the resulting guidelines of trying to go to heaven, for example. But people don't really talk about before life unless you are talking about reincarnation. And so I want to hear more before life theories. I love the idea of reincarnation. I don't agree with it. But reincarnation and karma is a pretty cool concept to talk about, I suppose, and just entertain, regardless of regardless of if you believe it or not. And there was the egg, I think, was the another theory that was thrown out there, where it's one person who lives every single person's life. I can't remember who wrote that theory. But yeah, there's some cool things out there. Hey, I can't wait to look at the fishies. Yeah, something I want to experience. That's one. Mrs. Doubtfire, I think we'll watch not this weekend, but next weekend. We are getting ready for it. And Mrs. Doubtfire is something that we're going to watch in the Discord. So I'm excited for that. I know we got to open up the voiceover studio, but we need a good place. I actually think, so for those who do not know, I have a little storage closet, I guess, just to my right. And it's quite small, so I think that would be a really good place to do voiceover. And I wonder if people who lived in this place a few years ago actually had that as their recording studio as well, because there's a bunch of soundproofing or what do they call them? Panels that used to be in there. So I wonder if they actually did use it for recording. Da, 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 da. As someone who's been voice acting for a good bit, it's nice to see someone get the passion for it. Thank you so much, Epic Fishy. If you have any advice for me, the only thing I would know, or assume rather, is that from my wannabe acting days, as in film acting, we were creating a portfolio. And so I assume that it would be very helpful to have a voice reel where it's just like, here are all the voices I can do. Here's my different cadence. Here's me talking about your extended car warranty. So I assume that would be useful, but I don't know where to start and what people are looking for and how to fake it, basically. Yeah, Kiwiman wants to do it too. Hoping someone else knows it for a brilliant website. I know that there are a bunch of websites that are for... So for example, Mama, you might know Mimicsten. And Lockie from the Mimicsten, they are on a voiceover website, and they have been... Sorry, I've just got mail that's just arrived, and it made a very loud noise. The Mimicsten Dungeon Master, they have had a few roles through then. What are we doing in this live? Oh, we're just chatting, just yapping. So if you have any questions, then you can pose your question and we'll yap away. So I asked you what a free energy machine is, Dustin. That is why. I will wait for your answer of what it is before I say, would I enjoy trying to build one? I was just thinking of setting up a smaller LGBTQ school in Christchurch. In Christchurch, I would assume it is. Christchurch is pretty trendy. It's got a decent sized population, Thomas. New Zealand in general, just like all places, does still have some discrimination, but I think they do okay. So, for example, it was one of it wasn't the first place to legalize gay marriage, was it? See, Mama, do you know that one? Because I know that, I don't think it was the first, but it was a lot sooner than a lot of other first world nations. And so I would say that they've had a lot of progressiveness in a lot of regards. So, but I never lived in Christchurch. However, Christchurch, like I said, is very trendy. And when I visited Christchurch, it gave the impression of being quite inclusive. This is not green screen. No, this is real. Okay. Go to a casino when you're traveling. It's the most comfortable hotel. Just pack your own food because the sandwich is like 3 times. Yeah, it's like buying on a airplane, right? I make comments delete. Well, consider what you're sharing, and then we'll answer this one. I actually don't know. I haven't read what messages have been deleted. I still remember the time I shared my voice on stream and you and a bunch of people talked about it for 2 weeks. That's because it was awesome. What do you mean? Oh, ovaries is before life. Well, luckily we have Lily here to easily explain the before life. So a free energy machine is a machine that powers your home. That's an energy machine. So are you saying a machine that is self-reliant rather than needing to tap into the infrastructure of electricity that is built by councils and governments? Is that what you're implying, Dustin? Anyone in chat or on screen who has questions about voiceover? Where did it go? You might want to look at... I want to be a voice actor. Perfect. Thank you, C Mama. If you want some good practice of voice acting with people, find an improv. I actually am in a D&D group, so I've got that going for me. I've been playing D&D for a few years. But improv group is a really good example as well. I hadn't considered that. Political correctness is something that the left is still comfortable enforcing on themselves. Yes, yep. I'm not going to disagree with this, but convincing me to think of the R word as a slur doesn't mean I'm going to leave my house anytime soon thinking that I'm not going to hear it from like 5 other coworkers who don't even know there's such a thing as an R word. So I'm not going to finger wag anyone about it because I don't want to feel like a dork. Yeah, I feel really uncomfortable when people use the R word myself, but when I hear it, I recognize that not everyone will have my agreement over what is and is unacceptable to say. I think for me, if you are spouting hate about a particular group is when I think that freedom of speech no longer becomes freedom of speech. Finger wag like this, like that's what that one was. But I do recognize that there might be groups out there that I am uneducated in, and so wouldn't realize when a term would be offensive and when it wouldn't be offensive. And that is why we can learn and we go, oh, okay, now I know this is not acceptable to say. And that is for our decision to make, I suppose. So yes, the Minotaur painting job is done. I have her downstairs actually, but I do have her, so I can quickly grab her before we wrap up today. I think I'll wrap up soon. I declare you are morally bankrupt for disagreeing with me. How dare! I'm from New Zealand in answer to that, Manny. Voice actors actually recorded in closets during the pandemic. Yes, this is why I thought this room would be really good, just to my right here. It's power our houses for free, that's it. You're into science, you know? Oh, well, thank you for telling me that I am into science. I didn't realize that that's what I'm into. So yes, I want the confirmation on the question I asked you, Dustin. Dampened. Yes, the sound is dampened from all the clothing as well. Speaking of voiceover work, I can really see you doing ads. I actually really think that's the thing, is when I think about voiceover work, I think I would be very well suited to, like, especially in Australia, I was thinking about it, where my accent isn't super Australian, nor is it super Kiwi, nor is it too British. So I really think that I would have had a good shot at doing like radio commercials in Australia. Like, can you imagine? Hold on. Do we have a fake radio commercial script? And then I'll look up the voiceover lady as well. Radio ad script examples. Because the thing is, like, depending on the mood as well, is where I understand basic concepts of changing where your sound comes from. So right now I'm speaking a lot more from my chest, but you can speak from your throat, and and even now, like, my pitch is slightly higher, but that is now a slightly different type of voice. And then I really need to get better at speaking from nasality as well. I like pancakes over waffles as well. This is writing a script. This is writing a script. I don't want to write a script. I want to read a script. Anyway, I think that I would do great at your extended car warranty. And like, have you been hurt? Make sure to go to this lawyer. I think that I have a good voiceover rather than voice acting voice. Whereas there are very few character voices I can do, and I'm not very confident on my accents anymore. But that is a skill that I can relearn. But in terms of voice acting, I think the only voice that I can do that I feel very confident in is like a very childlike, like whimsical fairy-ish, a little bit manic, you know. But I don't know how easy it would be to keep that voice for a long period of time. You know what I mean? So I wanted to look up Kristen. Hopefully if I put Kristen, it'll come up. Before life or afterlife, why is it always limited to one species over the entire... Well, not in reincarnation. Reincarnation, you can be reincarnated into another species. Over the entire history of the planet, only 1% of all known living species still remain. 3,000 plus religions. Which one's right? Reincarnation. Lock it in. I missed the question. Ooh, what was the question I had to you, C Mama? It was about Lockie, I think. Just if you knew Lockie, yeah. I think that was all it was about you. Try funny dubbing over some film scenes. Yes, exactly. So I did the colonizers of Cape Town. If you guys want to see that video, that's not really a good example though, because I was kind of doing a little bit of a silly voice. Hope everyone is doing well. Thank you, Freddie Manu. I like your name. For an acting role, I could see you being a singer from a 70s hippie band. I think I would have suited the 70s. For sure. Okay. The Netherlands was the first country in the world to legalize same-sex marriage, and that was in 2001. Gotcha. On April 1st, they were like, it's a joke! And then they had to stick with it because they're like, shit, too many people believed us. It's like, for April Fools, we're gonna allow gay marriage. Ha 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 ha. Oh, wait, you guys, wait, what? It was a joke, guys. You're not, oh God. Longest running joke that it's been. You look AI. What do you think makes me look AI? Because I know a lot of people say it's the brick wall, but is there other things? Like, what do I need to do? You can't see me business. Kia ora, James. How you going? Okay, so a free energy machine is a gyroscope. So why would it need to have a gyroscope? Sorry? It powers your house overnight, and the day it's just like solar powered. Is crazy. It may work. Look it up on your free time. So I don't think it would need to have a gyroscope, if personally. Hi, Shapa. Yes, happy birthday. I saw in the Discord. I hope you had a wonderful time. Life sucks. We're all doomed. I think that life can suck, but if that is the thing that we have been given to us, then all we can do is try to find some happiness within it. New Zealand legalized same-sex marriage in 2013. Okay, so it was a lot longer than later than the Netherlands. I can't believe it was 2013. You'd really think it would be earlier. The first Asia Pacific country. Well, that is very specific. I don't think it needs to be. Why is D&D fun? It's boring and lame. Have you ever tried it, Mythical? Out of curiosity. If you don't enjoy it, then the same way some people might be like, why do people like basketball? It's boring and lame. Like, some people like things that others don't. But my question is, have you tried D&D? I also think it's unacceptable to say, to call it the R word. You think that you should just be able to say it? No, I'm very comfortable not using the word. Thank you. A machine that works off-grid, basically free, costs a little money to start up, but it should work for 100 years or more. So you want us to invest in this? Is that what you're saying? You want us to be the people who figure it out? And you think that we are intelligent enough to figure it out? Because if you do, that is a high compliment. Yes, I actually... the mini tour clip is probably going to take a while because I have a whole plan. You guys want to see again behind the curtain a little bit? This is what the MAYrathon has been for me. Basically, I have been trying to build habits so that I can be a better content creator. I've only created this last night, so it might look a little bit, it's just numbers at this stage, because I know what the numbers mean. I haven't actually gone out of my way to make it pretty. It's just basically somewhere to dump my thoughts. So welcome to my brain. And then I can look up Christian afterwards. Welcome to my brain, everyone. Here you go. I think it's pretty obvious. Day, edit, post. It's pretty obvious, right? And this is gaming. As you can see, I haven't done the gaming. So basically, I started editing again, which has been a lot of fun and some challenges in itself. I haven't done any editing of my live streams since 2024. And so the MAYrathon was basically an excuse for me to try and get back into it. And so this is, again, like I said, it's a little bit of my brain. And so the first video that I decided, the first live stream that I decided I wanted to clip is from the 13th of April. And so that is why it starts with 13. And you can see that the clip that I edited is set to post number 1, which means the 1st of May. So in 30 minutes, that is going to come on YouTube, and then it will roll out on the other platforms as well. But following that formula, you can now understand what all the numbers are. So then this, that, and the next thing. So the mini tour clip was one of these. So it'll come out probably on the 12th of May. So in answer to your question, Kiwi Man, it'll probably come out on the 12th of May because this is my brain. Welcome to my brain. Anyhow, I will make it a little bit more close your Pornhub tab. Sorry, shit, I always forget to do that. I don't know why I always open. But actual segue. Why do streamers do such sensitive stuff on the computer that they're streaming from? Anything that I do sensitive, I always do in a private tab. And even yesterday, I was doing a whole bunch of Googling of stuff that I'm like, ooh, I wonder if this will ever come up on stream. And I'm going to feel so embarrassed. So, for example, I Googled learnt versus learned. And I was like, oh God, the chat's going to be so judgmental over the fact I had to Google whether it's learnt or learned. And so even that is enough for me to be so on edge of the things that are going to be showing up. So as another example, I do not put my address on this computer whatsoever. Anything that I need to order, I never, ever put it on this computer. And I know that it's probably the likelihood of that being found is so slim, but I just would hate for something to accidentally auto-populate some way, some form. So anything to do with my address is never, ever on this computer. Even on my throne where I can get sent stuff, I do not do that on this computer. And so thank you. If I have that thought process, even just here as a small streamer who doesn't like, I'm not looking up botting or my sexy stuff. If I'm gonna do any of that, that is on my laptop. So anyhow, that is coming back to the posting. There should be short form content that comes out on, I chose to do Friday, Sunday, and Tuesday. Yeah, Friday, Sunday, Tuesday is when my clips should come out, because that gives me kind of like 2 weeks to edit them essentially. And then hopefully on days where I am on holiday, then the clips can continue rolling out. So I'm really proud of myself, and like I said, that's kind of why I wanted to do this MAYrathon, to set myself goals and set myself habits. And so I did a whole bunch of time blocking. Where basically, can I show you guys this? I'm just double checking, because this is where I'd be like, oh, is this going to have my personal details in? But this is also how I decided to do a movie night instead of a live stream on Twitch or YouTube, because when I did all my time blocking, I was like, oh, this is I don't have time to watch a movie. There's no time to watch a movie. And I think I can show you guys this. This might even show a little bit of info. Okay. Yeah, so basically I created this, oh, it's too overexposed. Anyway, I created this calendar so that I can try and do stick to the program essentially. So red is streaming and green is editing. And then I'm hoping that will help me be a bit consistent. Anyhow. Yeah, it's not something I've ever done. I've been live streaming on Twitch for 5 years and I've never done this before. But I have noticed that even leading up to May, it's helped me tremendously. And I've known about the concept of time blocking for literally years. That is another thing that is not news to me. However, it's the first time that I've felt mentally in a place to take it seriously, I think, because I've had my own struggles with my own mental health. I don't want to overexert myself. And so that is why I never branched out onto YouTube, because I felt like I just wasn't in a place to commit to anything other than turning up to the live stream and then ending the live stream and that kind of being it. I could do a longer live stream, but editing, wearing all those hats that content creators do. I just like the one hat of live streaming. But now I've been trying to do a few other things. I'm in an attic actually, and it's been really helpful. So I already have 7 clips from April ready to post, and that is really cool because that's 7 more than I had over the last 2 years. And yeah, it does work. That's the worst thing, is that all of those self-help tools, they really do work. The problem is that being in a space to pick up those tools and use those tools is where all of the difficulty is. Yes, exactly. Well, it's not just about Asmon. That's what I shouldn't say all streamers. That's what a lot of streamers do. We don't have to lump in with Asmon there. That is something that people have been suggesting live streamers do for literally years. And I thought about it when I first started live streaming. And I just didn't have the ability to go through and do it. And now I'm feeling like I have a lot more motivation. We'll see how long that lasts, but I'm just proud of what I've achieved so far. So there are a lot of people, a lot of Australian live streamers that I admire. So I think T10 Nat is a great example. If you guys aren't familiar with T10 Nat, then go check them out. She has a ton of streams that she then makes into clips. And so that is and she just hit 100,000 subscribers on YouTube as well. So yeah, shout out to T10Net. They're very cool. Okay, catching up again. In case it's resolved by the time it gets to the point, perpetual motion-free energy machines are not possible in our universe, as there is always entropy in some sort when you convert any energy. As a basic example, solar energy is not perpetual, as the sun will eventually burn out. Wind power is degraded because of bearing heat and not a perfect conversion. There we go. Yeah, what powers the energy machine? All these kinds of things. Super Kiwi is a cool name. I like that. I have watched Breaking Bad. Oh, I could see me being like a younger, well, I would hope younger Skylar. Yeah, I don't get that as often. I think that I'm a little bit slimmer. But I could see myself being related to them. The eyes are not the right color. But yeah, she's got cheekbones to her. And like the chin. I think that we've got some chin situation going on. You can speak from the... Oh my god, Lily, actually, I don't know if you're still listening. I accidentally, on my feed, there was someone trying to teach two femme presenting individuals, so 2 girls. They one of them was trying to teach another how to do a different type of vocalization. That's not growling, but I can't remember what the name is, but it made me think of you. And basically it was finding your false voice. I'm going to put this away, where they're like, just basically go like this. Okay. Where it goes. And then you use that to then learn how to not growl. I can't remember what it's called. Yeah, classic blah. And then it was one of the Linkin Park songs that they were trying to do. And so they're like, then we turn this to like, instead of singing the lyrics, you just go blah 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 blah. And then you add the lyrics to it. It was just really interesting, and I thought of you. I have not seen an alien. Is that what Fry is it? But yeah, it was just this like and then I think I accidentally unlocked a growl when I was trying to do it. I can't do it now, but I was like, ooh, I wonder if that's how you do growling. So I need to learn more of this for voice acting as well. That's the Fry. They didn't call it vocal fry, but nonetheless. Thank you, Ariella. I hope that you've been enjoying well. I hope you've been well too. It's good to see you. Okay. Catching up. Some of your hair isn't flying upwards for no reason. Definitely not AI. Just give it time. Okay, from Hawaii. Alola. Hello. Okay. Just catching up. Why are you streaming in a chimney? That's a new one. I like that. I think I might use that, where people go, oh, where are you streaming from? A chimney. I don't even know what that laugh was. That's how much I enjoyed that. Yes, so See Mama Lucky is the one who was doing the voice acting. Thank you, Calm. I just saw your message about sorting through things as well. I'd love to watch your D&D games. That's really sweet, actually. There was a time where I was doing D&D live with D&D content creators, so that was a lot of fun. But now I'm just doing it for myself. Maybe one day people will invite me to do D&D live again. But at the moment, it is just in person. And I think that was more for me to develop a friendship group rather than it for content. And it is really, really healthy for me to not make everything content. But it would be also fun to make content specific stuff on top of that. I don't think a person is getting on a high horse about it into a word that I could have sworn everyone was saying like 5 or 6 years ago suddenly becomes overnight something you hear. Exactly. It feels like it is done as a not a counter movement. Is that the word I would use? It feels like people are using this word, and this is for you, Pekka, to... Yeah, I can't think of a better word at this moment, but to counter move against the woke community. It just feels like you say, it's just comes up overnight. Anyhow, don't not do drugs, D&DD. You got it, Upper. The UK has the longest running D&D campaign in the world. Does it really? Is that like, are you talking about there actually is a D&D campaign that's running, or you're saying the UK is the D&D campaign? Hi, Andrew. New Zealand gay marriage in New Zealand has civil unions. That's also a good point. For sure. Learned is the 100% more accurate spelling in Scotland. Yes, I learnt it's British English versus American English, so that made me feel a lot more comfortable. And where I wouldn't have gotten it wrong if I said learnt or learned, but I am one who speaks British English, so I said learnt rather than learned. But then at the same time, I know a word like passed, like I passed the test. Sometimes I get confused on that one. Are you going to dress the Jedi overalls? Ooh. I feel I simply must. Yes, let's do it. It's not too far away. Okie dokie. I wish I had a pet. That would be great. Was the schedule tied to the incognito tab? No, that was just something else. But I have other things that I'll show you before I wrap up for today. I think that we will call it in 15 minutes or so. Only time I used time blocking was at work because my coworkers would bother me if they saw available time. That's brilliant, Booty. That's brilliant. I'm glad that you're able to create, boundaries for yourself in that case. Am I going to meet Keith Urban? I don't know. You tell me, Cindy. My name is Skylar White, yo. That was actually an acting job that I had a while back. I'm just so good at acting that and the makeup artists were so good that I was Skylar White. I don't want to brag about it, but like that's what I was doing before live streaming. I was on a show. I don't know if you've heard about it. It's called Breaking Bad. Like I don't like to bring attention to the stuff I was on. It's really weird having people watch me. You know, it's like. I do streaming now. You don't have to go back and watch my TV shows that I was in. Our sun will expand to include Earth's orbit, but long before it will burn out. I have heard that they expand, but we will be dead by then, so I don't have to worry about it. I just worry about now. False vocal folds? Yes. Yeah. Okay, there we go. I think that's what it was. Yes, I think it was about vocal folds. False vocal folds. False vocal folds. That is a tongue twister. False vocal folds. False vocal folds. That's the one, Anthony. Thank you so much. I'm very, very confident that was what she was looking to. You got to find your fault, because I said false voice, but I think you're right. False vocal folds. I think that's what it is. And the girl they were teaching was really struggling. They would do the blah, but then they couldn't apply the blah, like singing to it. But they'll get there. Anyone in family or friends told you that you snore sometimes or regularly? I personally don't snore when I'm sleeping. So I know that I do not snore when I sleep. My dad, when we were traveling, so we shared a room, and the next morning he's like, he woke up in the middle of the night and he's like, I genuinely wasn't sure if you were asleep or you had died or if you were okay because you were so quiet. And consistently, people who share a room with me, that is what I have been told, is they like, I make not a peep. I don't move. I don't roll over. I don't have loud breathing. I don't snore. I basically just, like a mummy, like a vampire. I'm very, very quiet sleeper. So a great roommate, and I do mean roommate rather than housemate. Like if we're ever traveling, for example, I will not be keeping you up at night. Yes, I do D&D, exactly. We can respect keeping it to yourself. Thank you, Anthony. Yeah, there's me playing D&D out in the universe in some places. I think that I'm a better D&D player now. But the thing is that playing D&D in offline, like not for content, versus playing it for content are different skills as well. So I found that when I was playing it for content, it was a different type of performative, I suppose, and I was a lot more conscious about the audience. Whereas now, I can just say whatever, do whatever. I don't feel like I have to be on all the time, I guess. Anyway, fun black fact, although bands like Architects are known for popularizing it in modern metalcore, the NoFX bleh predates them by years. I don't know who this is, but hopefully someone, I don't think that's a fact that will stick with me, unfortunately. Learned has the learned pronunciation advantage, very much so. I like this. I see you're cultured. Gingers have souls too. That's news to me. I think you're pretty. Thank you. Hi, George. You definitely have a bit of native and Nordic in you. Not quite. Not quite. I'm not French either. Gary Gyers, exactly. So I know of Gen Con because of this. I know someone who went to school with him and has a signed first edition. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. I am always yapping away. That's me. That's what I do. So also, speaking of my calendar, basically I will be doing streams like this 3 days a week starting next week, and gaming streams are returning on Monday. Actually, well, technically on Sunday, but Sunday is a me day. Sunday is basically, I want to trial something. I might even trial it today, where I can end the YouTube live, but try going live on a different YouTube channel. So that way, like the Twitch stream can be like this, where we yap away and then segue into games. But my other gaming content will be specifically on the Exclam Plays channel. Surely that is boring as fuck. I think that once you have committed to a long-term campaign, you kind of want to keep seeing it out, you know? I wanted to be a voice actor since I was a kid. Oh my gosh, the voices of Goku and Vegeta. That's so cute. At one of the first Armageddon cons. I love that. Most British English sounds more proper, yes, but as American, I must say, learnt just sounds uneducated. It's like, can I ask you a question? I feel like I can understand where you're coming from, where it's like, oh, can I ask you a question instead of ask you a question? And so it's like, oh, I learnt it. Instead of I learned it. I do understand where you're coming from. I'm not going to disagree with you, but I use the British English. There are a lot of things in American English that make sense, like organization. I understand why it's spelt with a Z in American English. It makes sense. Dropping a U in color, it makes sense. I do get it. But there are other ones where I'm like, okay, this just... Anyway. I find voice acting comes easy while shaving off one's beard. Really? Wait, in stages, at some point the police officer character emerges. Do you think that will work for me though? I'll tell you an interesting fact. Gingers feel less pain. I've heard this a lot, but I can corroborate this at all. Oh, here we go. Okay, this is what I've been looking for, because so many people are like, oh, gingers have higher pain tolerance. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that no one will be able to test that. However, this is what they're saying. This is proven by anaesthetists giving needing to give higher doses to people with ginger hair. That makes more sense. Okay. Whereas like, can you feel it? Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Okay. And so they need, okay. All right. Thank you. Because no one ever tells me why gingers have a higher pain tolerance. Because all I know is what my pain tolerance is. And I don't think I have a high pain tolerance. Nonetheless. No FFX. No FFX. Okay. There was something that I missed. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. A Z, not a Z. If you say, Jeepers, what happened? You guys can still hear me though, right? A cable must have come loose. Well, that is probably the example of yeah, you guys can still hear me. It's probably just overheated, or because it is bloody hot today. Yeah, I think that it's overheated. It is really, really hot today. I didn't want to say anything, but I am I'm really warm because I talked about it hours ago, and you could probably have told before the camera died that it was really hot. So with the sun shining. I'll have a look. Because you're so hot? Stop. I will tell you it is over... it says only 19 degrees Celsius, but it must be hot here. Oh, we can do the voice acting! Oh my god! This is incredible. We can't hear you. That is a perfect example. Yeah, I think it's all overheating, which is curious because where I put my battery pack, because I think that when my camera overheats, it's usually the battery that overheats rather than camera itself. And where I put it, when I did all my cable management, I was like, ooh, I wonder if this will overheat. And I think it is exactly that. Oh yeah, we're not sponsored by Elgato. Get that out of here. There we go. We are not doing free sponsorship for Elgato. We'll get that out of here. Until they sponsor us, we're not showing that off. Anyway, guys, where is the brick wall? Oh, I guess, no, I guess I could swap over. If I change this, there we go. Okay, cool. It's like we were always here. And then we'll turn off this one. Cool. There you go. There's the brick wall. Give us a blah. Blah. Give me your song, and then I can sing it. The brick is a lie. It's always hot when you're around. We can this could be like my when I don't want to be seen on camera, I can do like a VTuber thing. Well, this is awkward. I will save. Oh my goodness! Stop. I've already read what this says.
A room is always hot with you in it.
Thank you. Oh my goodness. Yeah, exactly. A chalk sketch. That would be so cute. Or graffiti art. That would be adorable. Anyway, guys, well, if my camera is overheated, we will, it's not the same with the map bulb, so I'll have to put that on there as well. I'll use that as my indication to wrap up. I am going to test something to see if I can end the YouTube stream, but then start a video, like a YouTube stream on my other channel. So if you're on Twitch and you want to stick around for some tech tubing and some brick wall, then I will still be here. But hopefully only for a few minutes. But I guess thanks for today. It was a lot of fun just kind of covering a bunch of randomness. Day one of the MAYrathon, a lot of success and a lot of failure, and we have 30 more days to go. If you guys are wanting to join the Discord, because tomorrow I will be streaming, however, it won't be on YouTube or Twitch. It'll be in the Discord. So you must join the Discord if you want to watch the Saturday streams. I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys had a lot of fun. I hope you learned something. I definitely have taken away some things that I'm going to mull over, which is always nice. Definitely learned something on the in terms of tech stuff as well. But yes, we will get another fish fact not tomorrow unless you're in the Discord, but on Sunday. I'll be back on YouTube in 2 days' time. But basically Twitch is the place. I will put everything in the Discord. Basically, that's my point. Go follow all the socials. Thanks, guys. Okay, well, on that note, I'm going to try and do some tech now. So hopefully this works in terms of saying goodbye to YouTube specifically. And if not, well, that's going to be embarrassing. But if you're on Twitch, there's still this voice happening. Okay.